I'm not doing this because I want to take long showers with you, asshole.
Ain't you them kids that have been whacking off in my tool shed?
By a bunch of fucking iceholes like yourself.
Yeah, well, listen, you ought to ditch the geeks in the car with now and get in with us, but that's all right. We'll worry about that later.
Oh, my God. There's 100 morons in my basement.
It's you. Hurry.
Lollygaggers. Diamond dogs have struck again.
Well, they could be a lot worse.
Why did you kiss my ear? Why are you holding my hand? There's your other hand. Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows.
4 of us wolves running around the desert together in Las Vegas, looking for strippers and cocaine.
1, 2, 3. Benchwarmers!
Live from Scott's parents' basement, this is the Basement Benchwarmers Podcast.
Basement Benchwarmers Podcast, show 101. We turned 101 this week.
Oh, yeah, a lot of fanfare.
And everybody's gone.
You're like, screw it, we're done. That was our limit.
Yeah, just me and Ed. So you got the A team tonight. That's it. Glenn might be stopping by tonight later, but like we start every week. Ed, how was your week?
Over the weekend, I actually watched that Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken movie, The Deer Hunter.
Hey,
there's Glenn.
Hey, Glenn, how are you?
I know Glenn.
Well, hey, hey.
I know Glenn.
We never start on time either. That's a funny thing. Well, you went to work out. You're probably pumping some iron. I don't know. Oh, hold on. Go now. Nope. Go now.
There we go.
There we go. You're good. You're good. Are you going after this?
Yeah, I'm going to go after.
Oh, okay.
Man, we have all the kinks out after 100 shows, don't we?
Yeah. 101, let's start over.
So I actually watched that Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken movie, The Deer Hunter. You guys have seen it. I know Glenn's seen it.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was weird because, you know, that big scene. You guys know the big scene, right? Where they're
hunting deer.
Yeah. Not the deer hunting scene. But where they escaped the Vietnamese guys torturing them. But that scene now, I noticed I was watching on regular TV and it was cut from the movie because it showed Russian roulette. And it's Russian, so they banned it. So now, right after the guys are forced at gunpoint to grab the revolver, the scene cuts and is replaced by our fictional president, Joe Biden's State of the Union address. And after listening about 12 minutes of Biden's rambling speech, the Vietnamese guys shoot themselves. And then Walken and De Niro just walk away.
Oh,
yeah, it was different. I mean, it's a director's cut, I believe.
Kind of boring.
Yeah, it was the 12 minutes sucked. Those Ukrainians or Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Uranians.
Yeah. Uranians. He called them Uranians. In the thing, so whatever. Glenn, how was your week?
I was good. I did some gambling online under their name Calvin Ridley. Made some money.
Too soon.
Too soon? No. No, it was a good weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
The weather. I mean, hello, Wisconsin.
Yeah, exactly. 70 and snow today.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, how about Willie? How are you, Willie?
Went to Door County. 1.21 gigawatts up there. I don't know. That's all I got.
Where is Willie? Is he like inventing a crossbreed of cube and dart ball and
dart cube?
I can't even. I'm laughing because I can picture it.
Yeah. What's the stupid ice sport that he likes?
Oh, curling.
Curling. I couldn't come up with it.
Cubling.
And the what they call the rock?
Puck? No, the rock.
What do they call
stone?
The stone. It has darts all around it.
No, a board. It's our board. You gotta hit it as it's going.
Yeah, you don't get brooms, you get darts to direct it. Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Oh,
That's
shit.
good stuff.
Man, the show's so much better.
It's already got ratings.
We're up to 0 people now.
It's better than usual.
Yeah, it's twice as many.
Usually negative. Anyway, so this week we're talking a little bit about the lockout that's going on still. We'll talk a little bit about franchise tags that start today and will end tomorrow by 4 o'clock, I believe. Tuesday. This is Monday if you're listening to us later this week. And also, we're going to talk about our favorite TV show characters. Also, our Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Ooh,
I'm not a big wrestling guy, but
Speaking of Mount Rushmore, I may interject. I think we have a lawsuit on our hands. I was listening to MLB Network in the car, and they were doing a Rushmore of Dodgers.
Oh,
Better get the lawyers on the line.
I don't know if we've done a Mount Rushmore. Yeah, we did.
Of every baseball team.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and football team.
Those unpleasant fellows.
Those consumers. No.
So yeah, lawsuit next. Good, I'm glad. So let's start out talking with.
We'll move on to the litigation.
We'll get to litigation later. We'll do that. Second half of the show, we do litigation. Every show. So let's start out with good, bad, and the ugly. We got good, bad, ugly. You got some? You got something, right?
Oh yeah,
you
I
guys got
good.
some good, bad, ugly. You got one?
No, I didn't do my homework.
Okay, well that's fine. Doesn't matter. Maybe you think of something.
I mean, some of these are going to
I'll chime
overlap
in.
with. I'm guessing stuff we were going to talk about.
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah. Well, and we don't like what you usually do. If it comes up, we'll just talk about the topic then. That's what we usually do.
Throw me a top. Go. Let's go. What do you got?
How about okay? How about I just give you? How about I give my stuff I got in front of me, and I'll call it something we talk about.
I've got a good and bad.
Oh,
and
then go
ugly.
ahead. Then do. Let's go with ugly tonight.
Ugly.
Yep.
I'm going Brittany Griner.
Oh, yeah.
And not because she's funny looking and 6'9". Ugly because she thinks she's above the law. I mean, in my opinion,
Yeah.
I'm guessing everybody's heard this by now. It's all over the intrawebs.
Have you heard, Glenn?
So to fill you in a little bit, did you have a thing right in front of you there?
Yep.
Okay.
She was jailed in Russia after vapes were found on her luggage.
I just hear her name.
She could spend 5 to 10 years in prison for drug smuggling charges. Because you know what? That's not the terrible United States. Now you're in Russia.
Yeah. You remember? That's what my point was going to be.
Sorry.
She's an American hater. She hates America.
Yeah.
Because her and her wife are, they're discriminated against all the time because she's some high buck.
Not by me. No. Not by you. Not by Glenn. We don't care.
But the country.
But everybody else, for some reason, I don't know.
I'm going to be honest.
And they probably are. Don't get me wrong. They probably are at points. Don't get me wrong. But
not any more than any of us probably take.
Yeah.
The venom that she's probably receiving.
Yeah. But yeah, so
were they just tobacco?
No,
vapes, or were they
hemp?
Yeah, there were vape cartridges found in her luggage in
THC.
Moscow airport. Reports of the Mercury player have been arrested after landing at Sheremetyevo Airport from a flight in New York back in February. A drug-sniffing dog reportedly detected so-called vape with a specific order.
He brought it into the country. He was caught.
Yeah,
not leaving.
No. So, I mean, you have to
be an idiot.
You have to be smarter than that because you understand you're going to this foreign country and they're not the same as going from here to LA and being caught. They're probably okay. Number one, it's not taking drugs across international borders now.
Right.
And obviously, we know sitting here, which is why he wasn't going to sell them or anything like that. It was for her own use. But still, you have to be smart on that.
Illegal stuff?
Yeah, it's still illegal.
I mean, Glenn, you've been to many other countries. Yeah, I mean, I've been to a few. You know not to bring shit in. I'm not going to bring child pornography and, some cocaine and a weapon.
Yeah.
You're just, not to do that stuff. I mean, it blows my mind.
Just kind of shows how lax our legal system really is. We say we're tough on crime and tough on this, tough on that. Go to another country. Talk bad about the president of Turkey and you'll end up in jail.
Yeah. Or the president of Russia right now. There's protests. Or the in Canada.
As people thought that our old president was going to start martial law, they're going to do it in Russia now.
Yeah.
So they don't understand people don't understand when they say this stuff what it really means. They don't understand that's the problem. But the point in this article is people coming out. These are fans that came out and said this. It's unfair. It's totally political. Blah blah blah.
It's probably there's probably a large percentage of it that's political. But
it shouldn't be there.
We've got senators right now calling for the assassination of that country's president. What do you think's going to happen when you're an American and you go over there?
Yeah.
You're going to be, you're going to nitpick everything you do.
I mean, I don't know that it's entirely political. I'm sure there is.
I mean,
let's
obviously there's some political,
right. But if you had that in any airport in America and a dog hit on it, you're going to get in trouble. It's just what it's been.
I'm sorry.
Didn't Paul McCartney get busted going into Japan back in the day? And he was like arrested and banned for life. I think it was Japan.
I think right. Well, yeah. So that was. Well, yeah.
You can't even spit on the sidewalk in like Indonesia or like probably Dubai, I would guess. Yeah. If you think you could bring in pot into Russia?
Right. Yeah, not a good idea. Not great. Any ugly off the top of your head?
No.
Well, you touched on when you opened up Kevin Ridley. The Calvin Ridley story is pretty ugly right now. Gambling on it went on a 5-day bender is what they're saying right now. Gambling on football. And
isn't football only on the weekends? You're going on a 5-day bender gambling.
Well, nowadays they play every day from Thursday to Thursday.
Yeah, good point. Maybe it's that week where all the teams are.
Who knows? It was COVID week.
COVID week.
I don't know. They play on Tuesday night at 3:30 in the morning. But so yeah, he busted gambling. He's right now. People say it's a year, but if you see it's indefinitely up, and for sure the first year. Do you know there's 5 other guys that have been? He's the 5th player to be busted for gambling, and I believe on this list 2 of these other guys are Hall of Famers. So they get to come back at some point. Now that was the old days. It's the new days where
you want me to name them.
That
was Paul Horning and George Papadopoulos.
Yep, Pop and Alex Karras. Yep,
Alex Karras from
and then the other,
Webster.
Yep, the other 2 were Art Schleister, which is very popular.
Yeah.
And Josh Shaw, which is that was 2019. He was a member of the Cardinals, and he has not played a game in the NFL since he was reinstated in March 20th of last year. So he didn't.
But he's no Kelvin Ridley.
No, or Alex Karras, Paul Horning. Obviously, the guy's a little bigger. So I don't know. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to gamble in your sport. I tried to think of a way to make this into a conversation, but you should be able to gamble in your sport. It's just too hard because even if you bet on your team to win, then there's a lot of animosity in the locker room if something doesn't go right for your Bradford kicker missed a field goal, which put you up by 6 and you would have covered.
Yeah, I had $80,000 riding on that dick.
Now you're upset. Yeah. So that's the problem. There really is no good way to say you should be able to gamble in your sport. There really is. There's no good way. I don't think there is.
Not on your own sport.
You guys think I don't. I don't. Okay. Because I think the NFL takes this far. These guys aren't even supposed to do fantasy football. I think they've said that they stay away from that just to be safe. I know
and you see the guys talking about it all. Oh man, you're on my fantasy team. I need you.
I think they do it more. I don't think it's against the rules, but they do more in house where they just say we're going to pick guys on our team, and it's not a big deal. The guy doesn't score a touchdown because you're not playing for anything major. It might be for a pizza or something. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think that's a great thing. I think Calvin really has obviously made a huge mistake in the prime of his career. So this may be, I think, another Plaxico Burress type situation where I think he is basically. Might be the end of his career. If the NFL even lets him back, I don't know what he'll do when he gets back. I don't know. Who's gonna put money on him?
Somebody made a.
Oh, I have that now too. I thought I had it.
He should. He should. There we go. He should be a Betor person. Oh.
Yeah. I didn't prep for this. Yeah.
Nice job, Glenn.
Willie's phone's here again. Willie left his phone here. So, how about your? You got it ugly? Did you think of one? We're going to bad. You got a bad in your head?
No. Well, no.
I had Kelvin Ridley as my bad.
Oh, Calvin Ridley. Okay. Go ahead. You got another one?
No, I don't. I was going to say I'm trying to think of what's bad right now.
There's a lot. I
was going to say
we talk about every week.
I was going to say
lockout, whatever.
My good would have been Chris Middleton.
Yeah, in one game.
We'll get to him.
Right after we bad, he must listen to the show too.
Yeah,
him and MLB Network.
My bad. You said it bad, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I had Ridley.
My bad. Here's my bad. Yeah, we'll get to MLB more, but banning the shift. I don't understand why they did it. I saw people's comments. I saw someone's comment. Well, yeah, make it makes you be more athletic in the infield. Well, that's not. I disagree with that because infielders are more athletic than you think. I mean,
Yeah.
Whatever you say, if you just think a second baseman's there for, I mean, some second basemen are there for looks because they can hit, but you have to be a really, really good hitter to be there just for looks.
Yeah, just think about it. Derek Jeter's one of the worst fielding shortstops. You remember him running across the infield, diving and throwing that guy out at the plate.
So I don't understand. I think what we're going to see here is what they're doing is it's nothing to do with it. Everything. They're bigger bases. That is, I read about that, and the reason for that is so guys don't pop off the base on a replay. The bigger the base, the more surface area to hang on to. Possibly that's the one thing. They're going from 15 to 18 inches, I think. So it's a pretty nice size difference. And the pitch clock is going to be changed, which all this is doing is pointing toward one thing. It's pointing toward more runs wanting to be scored. That's what it's doing. It's taking away from pitching. It really is. And I love to see good games and all that, but most of your diehard baseball fans, I believe, want to see pitchers pitch their best.
Right.
That's what you want to see. You see guys go out there and deal and have a good game. Now it's going to take it away. It really is. And I saw a comment on Facebook. One guy goes, "That's crappy. Guys just learn how to hit the other field." And of course, someone comes up, "Oh, that's easier said than done." I see guys. You know how you get away from the shift? Do it. I've seen guys do it a million times. Rizzo do it 1,000 times. Bunt.
Yeah, bunt.
The next time you come up, bunt again. You bunt to the other side. They're not there, and then until they move, then you make the shift go away on your own.
Yeah, I mean, it is very hard to do that to a point because they're going to jam you inside. They're going to make you, but you can, if you give yourself up, you can hit the ball out in front of you and hit it the other way. You can.
Doesn't be hit hard.
Doesn't have to be hit hard.
No.
You're not going to hit a piss rod. But I think a lot of it now is all these stupid stats and everything. The speed off the bat, and they want to keep that up because this is where they make their money now.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving myself up when I need to hit home runs to make more money, you know.
If they want to talk about being more athletic, you can go back to the conversation about having your pitchers hit. You want more athletes out on the field.
Yeah.
Have your pitcher hit. I know that the argument about, protecting, the asset that the pitchers are nowadays, but I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I that's the other thing too. Bringing up going to DH in both fields. This is just both the leagues. It's just leading to more runs. That's all it's doing. This is just feeding into more runs. And
I don't understand the bigger bags. I really don't. I mean, you can't pick a guy off now because he can slide to the back 28 inches of the bag. You know, it's like it's behind the cooler back there.
I saw a meme and someone's like, "Oh, here's a new base in Major Leagues," and it was the old tarps they put over just the like the dirt spots.
That's what I'm picturing in my head.
I go, that's awesome.
That's what I'm picturing in my head right now, and it's.
So yeah,
and if they're gonna do the bases bigger, why aren't they putting? Oh, you can't put them in foul territory either because it would. You could nick. They do it in that. I think they do in softball sometimes.
Orange base,
the orange base, but
which is it's a safety thing. That's for safety.
That's for safety.
Yeah, Major League players are a little more agile. I think they aren't going to do anything. I mean, you just don't want nobody getting because first basemen aren't going to put their feet in the bag, and then that happens in softball. You want someone getting their ankles, and not that you see it a lot, but yeah, I see the orange bag. But you want to have the extra bag because then it's just confusing for the umps, and you get that one. Oh, that was fair. That was foul. We got to look at So yeah, that base can't be put in foul territory, but. Yeah, 18. I think it's 18, that's a big deal. You're adding
that's 3 inches to 2 of the sides.
Yeah,
so I mean
that's pretty big. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know.
So you're saying 57-year-old beer swilling overweight softball players aren't athletic like baseball players?
You're damn straight.
Close.
They're not close.
It is close. It is
close.
But I did think of a bad that I
what was the
came across today.
Oh, go ahead.
Are we done with this?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot.
We can talk more. We can talk more. I got more
for it, right?
Yeah,
we'll talk more. I got some more stuff.
You got?
Yeah. So what I saw today was the article. I think it was a North Carolina newspaper calling out the Duke school for whining about not honoring Coach K enough at the last game they played.
Jeez.
Did you see that?
Honoring him enough.
They said something in the beginning, but like all these other schools in their division are giving them like gifts and all this big.
They gave him a gift. They paid him $20 million a year for the last 15 years. That was his gift.
Right.
Go buy your own effing gift.
Right.
And then you lose.
He's got
right.
I know. He's got an office probably bigger than our studio, full of like trophies and shit. And he's probably the highest paid. I'm going to guess in North Carolina, he's the highest paid state employee. Or no, he wouldn't be a state. Duke's a private, right?
Duke might be private.
Yeah, Duke's private.
I think NC's
Yeah, so it'd be
That's
Dean
like
Smith.
that's like Wisconsin.
I thought it was there.
That's
anymore.
Hubert Davis now.
Is it Hubert Davis?
Hubert Davis, yeah.
He was at Carolina. Yeah.
Star Heel, yeah.
He was dropping threes, man.
He
Back in
could
my
play-
day,
he could play. He could play.
I didn't even know that. I got a bad now.
What?
Wisconsin losing that goddamn game last night.
Yeah.
How do you, the worst team, they choke. I say this all the time. Do I have to say this again? Every year, it doesn't matter, basketball, football, hockey, they end up at the end of the season, they have to win one game against some shitbag team, you know, it's like the University of Bellarmine or something, and they get beat.
Yeah.
And they did it again last night. Now they got knocked out. They didn't win they could have had a nice banner up there that said Big Ten champ. Nope.
Second.
Came in second now. I mean, not that it's going to cost their.
The 2 seed gives them 2 buys still, so they're fine in
Still.
the tournament. But yeah, that's
You got to win those games.
Yeah.
Every sport they do this in every year.
How about a good?
Oh, you want me to start this one?
Yeah.
I'm going way off the charts on this one. Alyssa Nelson, UW Parkside player. It's her 3rd year. She's been 3-time all conference. This year she was player of the year in the GLIAC. I think it's Great Lakes Inter Athletic. I don't know. Something athletic conference. I don't know what the I stands for. So she's a native of New Berlin, set the single season Parkside scoring record, averaging 20.2 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, and 2.4 assists. But here's the great stats. She shot 51.4% from the field and 41.5% from 3-point range and 90.8% from the free throw line. One of only 2 players in the entire NCAA, men or women, Division 1, 2, 3,
to show over 90%.
2 people. She shot 50% from the field, 40% from 3-point, and 90% from the free throw line. The only other one was Jack Davidson of Division 3 Wabash.
Really?
Pretty impressive stat.
Oh, wow. And she's Parkside.
Parkside. So she's
Nice.
player of the year as a junior. So she's still got 1 year left.
Well, good for her. Well, only a junior too.
Yep. And she's already been 3-time first team all
Only
conference, I
place
believe.
to go down now though.
She should transfer to.
She's player of the year, right?
Yeah.
You said. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Nice.
I finally found something good. Nobody got kicked in the face or gambling or running over
vaping
or punching a parking officer.
Got it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
341.
Oh,
Guess
my,
what that is?
my heart rate?
No.
I think I was to do this one. Is it the weight of the guy that ran the 4?
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yes.
Jordan Davis.
Yes.
That was gonna be my good too. That's funny. That's
Really?
Yeah, I
No,
saw it
that's
before you sent it.
That's
though.
hilarious. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, The Rock actually posted about it. I saw that early this morning. Yeah. Yeah. So 341-pound lineman from Georgia runs a 40-yard dash in 4.78 seconds.
Did you see the video?
Yeah.
Dude, he is like smooth running too.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like choppy. He was running
No.
like a sprinter. I mean,
It didn't look like a dump truck going over like the
No.
the railroad
he
trestle.
was moving.
He was moving smooth.
Yep, yeah. So yeah, that was pretty cool actually. I mean, but man, I wouldn't want him fucking chasing me down. I'll tell you that right now. Be
Oh,
scared and shit.
hell no.
Bringing his 3, and that was funny. They showed a picture of. Was that the player? They showed a picture of him at 341, and then a picture of Vince Wolford at 341. Oh, look at that picture! It's hilarious.
Yeah, but I guarantee Vince Wolford's gonna have a better career.
I don't know. We'll see.
Is this guy like really
Yeah,
highly
he's from
touted?
Georgia. He was supposed to be. Yeah, he's supposed to be a 1st round pick. So we'll see. So it
Wolford's
just
had
added
a pretty good career for a big fat guy.
Depends where you go.
I mean, I root for guys like that. You know, I'm a fan of Steve Balboni as well. You know, and
The fridge.
the fridge. I love the fridge.
My good was going to actually be opposite of what the North Carolina people said about the thing. I thought it was a nice little thing they had for Coach K. The good is his last game at Duke. He is probably he is one of the greatest college coaches ever. I mean, I guess people would argue with John Wooden and stuff, but I think
Would he be on the Mount Rushmore?
I believe he would. If you're going to go retired coaches, he'd be up there. You got to put John Wooden up there. Dean Smith would have to be up there.
Probably be those 3, and then you can
the 4th. There's so many guys. I mean, you got guys that you have to have won a bunch, and there's a lot of guys in college. I mean, Bob Knight up there. Bob Knight was a very good coach. I mean, people don't like the way he was at times, and I get it, but he got it done. I mean, he did. I mean,
I lived in Bloomington when he was there. Oh, the people there hated him.
Did they?
Oh my god, there was some. I keep saying venom. I don't know. That's my word of the day.
Word of the day. But yeah, I liked what they did for him. A lot of past players came out. Big thing before the game, they lost, but then Coach K went to the mic at the end of the game after the game was over, grabbed the mic, and this isn't part of the program. This is impromptu by me. I'm sorry about this afternoon. The fans are starting to kind of grumble, like, don't we? He goes, no, please, everyone be quiet. Just let me say it's unacceptable. Today wasn't acceptable, but the season has been very acceptable. And I'll tell you this: the season is not over. So even I don't think you had to do that. It is what it is. You lose your game. You thought you had your homecoming game against the School of the Blind, but you didn't. North Carolina's not having a great year. They're a bubble team, and they came in and stomped them. Yeah. It wasn't like a 1 or 2, but they won by like 15 or 18 or something like that. I think it was. So it was
there was a few of these games recently like that.
Last 2 weeks, the big teams on top got beat.
Yeah,
and I think that's we talked about. I think that's good. I think it's good to get. I mean, you're not undefeated, so it's not like you ruined a great season. All these teams have losses. Nice to lose one and bring back to earth. I think even the coaches, even after they get done talking and screaming and yelling after the game, they probably walk in their office and goes, "We needed that.
Yeah,
we need to have a loss. We need to get off our oh, look at how good we are." And these teams do it. They all do it. Social media is all this stuff. Pro sports. This what these guys read about themselves every day.
Oh yeah,
everything great out there, and they're seeing how good and how great they are. And then you need to. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these teams are really good. But college basketball is so fickle. Anybody can.
So is Zion going to come back? He's still got 3 years of eligibility left, I think.
He's not in the NBA anymore. So yeah, I thought it was a cool thing. I watched a little bit of it. I thought it was cool. I watched the other day. I did some stuff today, but I watched it. Wojo,
another successful college coach,
Shane Battier, Trajan Langdon, and AJ Redick. And AJ Redick, I think he said this, and I was taken aback by it. That's the word. He is Duke's all-time leading scorer.
Really?
I thought it said that.
Yeah, he did.
And
he was average. He had like some games for a lot of 30-point games.
He was player of the year too.
But you got to
JJ Redick was player of the year in college. I would have never ever thought that.
You got to remember those Duke teams. At least
you have to go to school for 4. See, a lot of guys don't go to 4 years anymore.
Right.
Kevin Durant averaged a ton that 1 year, but he only played 1 year.
Yeah.
If he played all 4 years, he'd be the leading scorer in. Well, this is only in Duke history. I'm sorry, this is only Duke. We're not talking college basketball. So Grant Hill, I think, left a year early.
Pete, nobody's gonna.
Leitner, I think. Leitner played all 4 years.
Played all.
I don't know. That can't be right.
Yep, Leitner played all 4.
But I'm just saying, he can't be the all-time leading scorer. I guess he could. I guess. Why did my voice get all high? I guess he could.
No, you watched a lot of because when we grew up, Duke was
it.
They were it.
I
watched all their.
We
games.
really had. I mean,
because that's all we had.
Wisconsin wasn't great back then. Around here, Marquette wasn't that good back then.
Here and there.
But you had nothing. You watched Duke, Syracuse, Indiana. Those are teams you watched back when you were younger. That's why. Oh, another guy at Mount Rushmore, quietly. I mean, nobody's gonna agree.
Boeheim.
Yeah, he's quietly done really well. The program doesn't get a lot of top recruits. But anyway, that was got off topic.
But I can still remember. I mean, that's how I met friend of the show, Scott Olson, back in the day. We were in 9th grade. He just came to Lincoln.
Steam Bass.
Yeah, we met at the Steam Bass. They had him in the basement down by the pit. No. And Mr. Unger brought in the TV because he was from Indiana to watch the Indiana. And I don't think it was Indiana Syracuse, but it was a big game. And it was during school, so he brought in the TV like it was like a field trip. And me and Olson sat there. We were the only 2 people because everybody went to the next class, and the game was like a good game. And we're watching with the teacher. And I was like, "Hey, I'm Ed. Hey, I'm Scott." We didn't know each other. And it was Indiana, Syracuse. It was, we had Kansas, but Duke.
Well, back then, DePaul was good back then.
DePaul was good.
When they had Ray Meyer was there.
Yeah, there's a few Kansas. I don't know if I said them already. And
Kansas. Yeah, Kansas is a great call with
Danny Manning.
Roy Williams for years was there. Yeah.
But those Duke teams, I can still remember. I can remember, Leitner, Hurley, Hill.
Well, Kentucky too back then.
Cherokee Parks. It was every year there was a new guy would come in and they would stay all 4 years.
Yeah.
And they would replace like 2 or 3.
I think I want to say Coach K. It's been really recent. Like last 5 years was the first time a guy left school early at Duke.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was. RJ Barrett did a couple years ago, but I don't think it was. But within the last 10 years, which is pretty surprising, he would keep every guy there for 4 years.
Yeah.
And when you say 10 years, that's not. But think about it. So 2012-13 was probably the first time ever in his coaching career a kid left his school early.
Yeah.
And that's why it's incredible to me, because a lot of these kids went on to be successful in the NBA, played well, but it works if you play team basketball. You win things and you make yourself better for the next one.
How do you think Wisconsin competes with these superstar teams? Because they play together for 4 years.
Oh yeah, that's how they do it.
And they get it when their 3 top players are seniors.
And that's why a team like Murray State or a team like George Washington beats these teams, gets the Final Fours, because they're there 4 years and they're playing teams that are playing 1 year together. And they, you know what? To be honest, when you on like a Kentucky team, we've seen a few years back, they were really good. Actually, the team that Wisconsin beat, these guys, 3 or 4 of those guys are thinking about next year already. If we lose, I don't care. I'm going to be an NBA player. I'm making tons of money. It don't matter. I leave here. A lot of those guys have gone George Washington in Wisconsin. I mean, but those small, like Murray State, those guys aren't going nowhere. I mean, they're done. This is their last game. I'm busting my butt because I want a chance to do something. And you know what? If I get to the Final Four, I mean, it doesn't happen a ton. Maybe I will get drafted by the NBA.
Yeah.
You get lucky like some guy. What's his name? John Morant. I don't know. That guy got lucky. He got lucky.
But look at some of those Badgers. I mean, that were on some of those big teams like that. I don't even know what that one guy, the guy from Sheboygan that could jump really high and ended up at Houston. And
Decker.
Yeah, Sam Decker.
Yeah. He left early, which was a huge mistake.
He could have been a star there, you know.
Yeah, he could have played one more year and they would have been really good, because Kaminsky was gone. He was a senior, right?
Yep.
So he would have been in charge. It would have been his team. They had a pretty good team still there, and it just kind of hurt them, I thought.
Yeah, and he was not an NBA player.
I mean, he
had
the
athleticism.
He made a few bucks. I mean, I guess if you're looking, I guess you look long term. If I leave this year, I get drafted, I can make $5 million. I can live on that. A lot of these guys look forward that are smart. Go, if I get $5 million contract, it's guaranteed 10 million, 15. I'm fine. I don't need to keep. I'll just keep jumping. I can just play basketball until I'm 30, wherever I want. I can go overseas. I can do what I want. Just play basketball for 10, then quit, and maybe start a little business and
make a couple $100,000 doing that. I already got money put away.
So I guess I don't hold them against it. I mean, if they do it right and they you don't hear a story about them 10 years later that they are broke, then they did it right.
Yeah.
They
would barely cover my Girl Scout cookie addiction.
I thought you said Girl Scout addiction.
No brownies.
I'm not a weirdo.
Not.
So the guy that left Duke early, the first one under Coach K, was Elton Brand.
Elton Brand, that was it. Yeah. What year was that?
99.
Oh, okay.
First pick overall.
Yeah, he was.
Pretty good time to leave. Yeah.
There was 2 other dudes that left with him, but
Jay Williams did he leave early too, or
Jay Williams might have?
William Avery and Corey Maggot left with.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Corey Maggette?
Corey Maggette, yeah.
Corey Maggette was legit.
He was solid in the pros. He was a good like player. Like he played with the Clippers for a while. He was actually a good little like third, fourth guy.
He was athletic.
Yeah. Well, Trajan Langdon, remember him?
Yeah, I think he was from Alaska.
The Alaskan assassin.
Yeah. Yep.
He's a great 3-point shooter. Went to the pros and he never really panned out. I mean, he was supposed to be like he talked about like he was going to be, and this was before Steph Curry, but talked about like he was going to be Steph Curry, and he never became that shooter. I mean, he was a great shooter in college, but. I mean,
he was the shooter.
Who'd you think off top here, best player in Duke history?
Well, I wanted to say real quick about Maggette.
Yeah.
Kenosha, Chris Beth, and Kevin's younger brother, but the tall one. He's like 6'7" or 6'8", whatever.
Yeah.
In AAU, he matched up against Maggette because I want to say Maggette was from Chicago.
Yes, he was.
And he had a cover him, and Chris was playing center. And Maggette's like a guard at that size. He was like a 6'7", whatever.
Handle the ball, shoot,
and
dunk.
He said he was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
But who do you think is the best player in Duke history?
And it's hard. I would go with Grant Hill because of how it came after and how everything. I mean, his injury, but he.
You mean for NBA and everything, or?
You know what? That's tough. I guess
I would go Leitner if it was
Duke player. Yeah, if we're going just with his college career, Leitner would be tough to top, and that.
Yeah, how many couple national championships, and
I mean, Leitner
only lost a couple games.
I guess. Oh, Grant Hill was there with him, but Leitner was the star of that team. Even with Grant Hill there, and they had Bobby Hurley was there too.
But if you look at Elton Brand, you're looking at Zion Williams now. You know.
And Zion was a monster in college, but Zion never won nothing.
Yeah, he didn't have to. He's ridiculous. He still would be in college, right? He'd be only his junior year, I think.
Like you think about it, I guess I don't know.
Shane Battier was there.
Shane Battier was really good. Shane Battier, he was a great player. Plus, he was a really smart dude too. He was very good.
Billy McCaffrey. I'm trying to think of guys. Wojo. They had some shooters too.
Jay Billis,
Luol Deng.
Luol Deng, yeah,
that's right.
Another good player, yeah. Dude,
So many. And a lot of like guys that got to the NBA and they were like those kind of players. They had a even
niche.
Reddick, a niche
Yeah.
player.
Well,
Yeah.
Cherokee Park's that guy in the NBA. He played
Yeah.
he was in the Kings for a few years, and
Yep.
he was the guy off the bench, the energy guy, rebounder. He's the Bobby Portis of his time. It wasn't as good as a 3-point shooter, but he was just that energy getter when he played for the Kings. I mean, he was in the Kings teams that gave battles to the Lakers a couple times with Weber and all that. I believe he was on that team.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy. You got any other names there?
Grayson Allen.
I was going to say that one.
Yeah, Grayson Allen.
Talk about a fighter.
Yeah, he was a good college player. I want him. Yeah, but yeah, that's another good call.
That's Boozer, Carlos Boozer.
Oh,
Boozer
yeah,
was good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like that. He was their Alondo Tucker.
Yeah,
he was that guy who just beat up
Yeah.
people. He just was tough.
Boozer was very good. Boozer was good. He had a good pro career too. He had a great career when he was in Utah.
Jabril Parker.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Jabari.
Oh, Jabari Park. Oh, okay.
Well, drafted by the Bucks.
The Bucks. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Sorry,
I didn't know
that's
he
the
went to Duke. That's
yeah,
my
but
fault.
he was very good too. He was very good too. Yeah, I mean,
That's a lot
Jesus.
of names. Wisconsin, can you probably pull 4 names out?
I mean, they've had good guys go through Finley, and obviously
Yeah.
Finley would come off your tongue right away.
Who's that shooter too? They had I can't think of his name.
I mean, Finley just had that career from top to bottom. I think that was good in college and good in the pros. I mean, I still would argue that the best Wisconsin college player ever is probably Dwayne Wade.
Out of the state.
College, just Wisconsin over Wisconsin and Marquette. I would take him just because what he did that year. He basically took that team to the Final Four all by himself. He did a Danny Manning or Carmelo Anthony type thing.
I mean, that's a good.
And he's
argument.
always been a good scorer, and and he had obviously a great program.
I'm going to say Nicky Van Exel. He killed me. I could not D up on Nick. I did score though.
Your raindrops you shot at?
Yeah, I
like
did.
from like for
Well, it was funny. If I told this story on the show, yeah.
I don't know.
So I get in a 2-on-2 tournament and I get picked up like the day before the tournament. I get a call. Ed, can you fill in for somebody? I'm like, I guess I'm not a good basketball player. I was just an athlete. First game, Nick Van Exel and Myron Glass. And the guy I'm with was a basketball player, but it was funny is I scored the only points for us because I think Myron's like, Ed, shoot the ball, Ed. I'll let you shoot this one. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those guys were pretty good.
Myron was very athletic. He might be more athletic than Nick Van Exel, actually.
Well, we never even knew he was that good of a football player until he was a basketball player growing, and he
Yeah.
was a good baseball player.
Yeah, he was. He played. Yeah, he was one of the best 3-sport athletes in
I agree.
this area, probably hands down.
Him and
Scott Atkins.
Rick Fosse.
Yeah.
There's a few, at least from our time. I don't know a lot. I don't know if there's many guys nowadays that play 3 sports.
Yeah, it's hard to find that. I mean, well, you got to. Yeah.
I mean, one might be golf now or something too.
Yeah, it's hard to find the 3 main ones: basketball, football, and
baseball, pretty much.
baseball. Yeah.
Would they shift the seasons at all? Because
You can
be
squeeze-
damn hard to do it.
Yeah, some of them overlap a little bit. I think. I think basketball and football overlaps, doesn't it?
No,
Not at all,
No, they end enough time, and yeah, you can play all 3. Baseball
Yeah.
too. I mean, you miss you miss maybe
Camps.
trainings and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But most guys, if you're playing 3 sports, are gonna.
Now guys are 1-sport athletes pretty much. You
Yeah.
pick your sport and
A lot of coaches, I think, should have the mindset, and a lot of them do that I've talked to, that as long as you're playing something, that's fine. But if you're missing my open gyms or whatever because you're not doing anything, then that's not what you should be doing. You should be making open gyms. If you're playing another sport, good, you're playing something. That's all they care
I got
about.
my nephew right now. He's a very good hockey player and he's a decent baseball player. And he's missing baseball open gyms because he's got hockey games. And
yeah,
it's weird because baseball's pretty much all year now up here.
Yeah.
Everybody's got an
Mhm.
indoor facility.
Yeah. And hockey is almost from October till
Yeah.
April.
Oh yeah, they're still going. I
Yeah.
mean, I know he's got tournaments next week and
so it's tough. So
Do you think kids don't do that because they want to preserve their body a little bit more? You know, they're trying to get into college. They don't, like a football player doesn't want to go and wreck his ankles playing basketball. You know what I'm saying?
I think that, and sometimes the parents are like, well, we want you to be good at this one.
Yeah.
You're going to concentrate on this, and so we don't have to pay college tuition.
Yeah. At most, I see them running track and then another
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
It helps their
Track and
endurance.
football
I'm
a lot.
fan. Usually what happens when you're a kid that gets, and this happens a lot with football, like you just said, most of the colleges will say, yeah, we'd rather have you run track than play baseball.
Yep.
Just because it's if you're really serious about coming to college to play football for us, if you're going to recruit it, you're going to probably say, okay, I'll skip baseball. I'm going to play football then. But you run tracks. I know Michael Roach, we talked to last week. I'm pretty sure he played baseball his first year, maybe 2 in high school, but then his last year he ran track, and he was like on one of the, I want to say they did really good at state. I can't remember.
A relay team?
Yeah, he was on a 4x100, I think, and they did really, really well. So, but that's what you want to do. You do track, and it builds those. It's just
Bo Jackson did football, track, and baseball.
Yeah, well, Bo Jackson's a monster. See, and that's the thing. Most guys, I mean, you get in the right situation with high schools, and track is such a, if you're good at a certain event, like an actual, like with shot putting and stuff, that's all kind of muscle memory and all stuff and javelin, whatever they do. I don't do javelin. I think they don't do javelin.
That's more of the field side.
The field. But the track stuff, like if you can run and know how to get the right position, all that, most of these track teams will say, yeah, you can play baseball. Just show up for our meets.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to.
Yeah.
Or with girls soccer and track, they'll do that with girls. They'll let girls
that's
do
how it
both.
should be.
Yeah, because you don't have to be. If you're at soccer practice, you don't have to be at track. You're running. It's not like you're not running. You're not. So they let. I mean, you have to approach them and
make a deal.
Yeah, say, hey, do you do it? But yeah, I think kids should play as nice as possible. If they want to. If they want to, it should be up to the kid. They want to dedicate themselves to one sport, then so be it. But like you said, hoping to get a degree. Well, if you're paying $1,000 a year since he was 7 on average, well, that's 17, 18 grand you've paid now at this point. Obviously, that's not paid for all of college, but you paid for a semester.
The worst one is
a year.
Hockey. When you're talking, some of these teams are over 10 grand.
Oh yeah,
a year, and people are like, yeah, my kid, I'm going to get him on a college team. It's like, first of all, there's not many open spots.
Well, you could have paid for college
hockey.
And buy yourself a cabin up north.
Yeah, you could have. Exactly. It's crazy.
And a trailer with a ATV on it to go with you.
Yeah, exactly. And then your kid still could have went to Gateway and
play for the Gateway Laker hockey team.
Yeah. It's crazy.
No, sorry, the Gateway Hawks.
Are they?
Red Hawks. Yeah.
I don't know. I've never took a class at Gateway. Have you? You have?
I have an associate's degree from there.
I
really?
did too. Yeah.
I went to Parkside and Carthage.
Remember radio broadcasting?
Yeah, I remember.
What'd you go for?
Computer stuff.
Computer stuff. Yeah. Huh. Glenn's looking through the thing. Let's see what I'm cooking. Computer stuff. I'm gonna go for that.
Well, so
computer stuff.
I say that because they had 3 different programs for computers at the time, and I was taking classes in all 3 because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Then I got antsy and wanted to go to Carthage, so I just finished the one I had most classes done in, which was management information systems.
Okay, and you ended up going to college then?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
What'd you go there for?
Management
computer
information
stuff?
Systems. Yeah.
Computer stuff.
Yep. And I have an MBA as well.
You got that from Carthage, though. Your MBA is?
No, I got that from North Central University online.
Oh, okay. So you've been to a lot of schools.
You
might be the smartest guy I know.
I went to school from age 20 to 40, pretty much.
Holy cow. So did I, but it was all at Carthage.
Van Wilder.
It took a while.
Okay, so that franchise tags are coming out. They started today already for NFL. A couple that went out. Orlando Brown was franchise tagged by the Chiefs. The Bengals tagged Jesse Bates, the safety. David Njoku was tagged by the Browns, and a couple that are coming. They expect the Buccaneers to tag Chris Godwin. Yeah. One's not happening. J.C. Jackson, the cornerback from the Patriots, will not be tagged, you're saying. And the Cowboys are thinking about tagging Dalton Schultz. The big one for us, we were talking about this earlier. We obviously believe that Devontae Adams will be tagged. It's better for the team to do it. If they're tradable, if they can, or restructure, or give them a big contract. To piggyback onto that, Aaron Rodgers was offered. It is saying the wording. Let me get the wording off this. I have to.
Got a big fucking contract.
Yeah,
that's what I think it said.
Yes, it's kind of like that. Aaron Rodgers just received a market-altering contract offer.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I
from
said.
the Packers. So if we're talking Russell Wilson, Pat Mahomes at 45 a year, this is going to have to be in the $50 million range, I'm guessing. And
boy, that could change your lifestyle.
Yeah, right now the Packers are currently 26.4 over the cap. The cap did get officially announced today. The cap will be 208 next year, 208 and some change. So if you got 50, and I don't know how they're structured. They may structure out like they do with contracts. Devontae's tag, if they don't restructure his deal or give him a long-term deal, will be 18.4.
But
So
Rodgers is already getting paid how much? 30 something?
I saw he was owed
45.
46.
So this isn't going to make much of a difference.
Well,
it's probably going to come down,
they
actually.
can write it and then drop what he makes, but then this will be one of those back end things that'll screw you when he retires or
Right.
leaves. It'll kill you no matter what you got in store. It's going to kill you.
They're going to be killed either way. So
Well, I mean, and we talked about this earlier. They're being offered these 2 or 3 picks, 4 picks for him right now. And you asked me a question before the show, and I said, let's talk about it on the show. And that's why I stopped you, because I don't know if they're getting offered really that much. I mean, you hear, we don't know for sure, but like teams like Denver and Tennessee, possibly, and Miami was in there, possibly. Like 3 first rounders, maybe a second rounder, and getting maybe Tannehill or Tua or Drew Lock back, someone back, and maybe another player. Might be 2 players. You might get a good cornerback or say, I don't know, whatever. But this is, of course, this will be taken the wrong way. You guys won't, but I'm glad Eric's not here because he rolled his eyes at me. Aaron Rodgers has just gotten worse every playoffs he's played the last 10 years, 8 years. Really, he has. He gets in the playoffs and he doesn't play well. He just does. The team doesn't play well, but he doesn't, and the team is him. It basically is.
The defense played well this year.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, though. I mean, I think they should just, if they get a serious package like that, I believe that and people will be crazy nuts about this, but with that money in the situation they have going on, they're not going to be able to sign a lot of guys, and they're going to have to do stuff and cut. They're going to have to get rid of guys, which there's guys, they redid Bakhtiari's contract already. They did stuff like that, which Bakhtiari, that's a question mark to me, because the Packers are overall in decades ago have been really smart with doing stuff. I think Bakhtiari, it's time for him to go.
I thought the same thing.
They let guys go in the past that are still playing in other places.
Yeah, you
that
ain't
are
kidding.
Good linemen. And they just let them go because they were too much. You're going to restructure back. And I don't know, maybe the restructure helps out for cutting them later. Maybe that's possible. Maybe it's that little backdoor trick and they're cut them and it's time to, I don't know. But I don't know. I just think that, do you have a chance to win next year with Rodgers? Oh, definitely. Of course you do. I mean, no matter if you get Adams and Rodgers back, you're still going to be the same.
They're going to be in the playoffs for sure.
You should make the playoffs unless Rodgers gets hurt, which I'm guessing he won't. But, or do you, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just hard because we have the what do they do when you do an experiment in science and you have like
the hypothesis
you have it all in front of you.
Your scientific method, essentially.
You have this all in front of you now. You have this since 2010 or 2010 when they last won. This has become a playoff downward trend, and they've been favored in every one of the games they've lost.
I believe so.
It'd be pretty
real
hard to
close.
argue. Maybe one they haven't been.
Yeah.
Okay, 2. But out of the ones he's lost, he's been favored in all those games to win. And I shouldn't say him. The team has. It's not just him. They played bad in games.
This year was him, though.
Yeah, and yeah.
You got to put some touchdowns on the board against that. I mean, that San Francisco team was not the Packers.
And the tape show you the guys were open. I mean, we saw that stuff. So, bad game. Yeah, you have one. If he would have won 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, people are like, oh, okay, he has a bad game, but he hasn't. I mean, and if you're getting, because this is pretty much it for the Packers. If they're going to get something for Rodgers, I think this is it. Because next year now you try trading this guy with this huge contract, and now he's going to get the same contract wherever he goes. Yeah. These teams, it's going to be harder to grab him into it because I think that affects your team differently. The cap is so crazy how it works. I tried reading this stuff, and it's like, those people that do the caps, good for them. But
so if Miami was offering, we talked about this. If Miami's offering 3 first rounders and like Tua and another pick somewhere in there, are you not? If Rodgers is willing to go with that, would you not take that right now? You're still gonna have a quarterback. You're gonna have $45 more million probably to spend, or 40, just say, because Tua's getting paid low, and you're gonna have him for 3 or 4 more years. And he's not the greatest quarterback. I mean, but
you never know.
But could you add 3 or 4 top players then to your team that's already pretty solid?
Yeah.
And keep Adams. You could sign Adams to a longer deal.
And you got Aaron Jones for a couple more years.
And, maybe pick up a Von Miller type guy. Those guys that are out there. There's a few of them. I don't know. To me, I would be hard for me to pass that up.
Well, they say that he's torn between what he wants to do. He is truly torn about it.
Yeah, which is the problem every year.
And this is, I mean, back to the Schefter thing we talked about. Every bag. Schefter bangs on him because he lied about what he told him. There is no way in the world that this report didn't get out by someone in the Packers organization. You know why they did it? So if he leaves, at least everybody knows
we got our ass covered.
We tried.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is not fake reporting. This is not fake anything. This is true. This happened. And they say he's torn. The 3 teams are Broncos, Titans, and Steelers are the 3 that says on here, but I heard the Dolphins also. And then Rodgers did officiate Bakhtiari's wedding this weekend. So he was with them, which everybody looks into that. Okay.
I don't know what that
means. They're buddies.
Oh, he moved to moved to Nashville.
Yeah, they're good friends. They're good friends. I mean, they're really good friends. And he brought who was his date?
I have no idea.
AJ Hawk.
Clay Matthews.
No. Shailene Woodley.
Yeah. Oh, is that his supposedly ex or whatever?
Whatever.
That's why he needs that what do you call it? League changing contract or whatever.
Yeah,
because he's doing side jobs to make money right now.
Yeah, it's market altering.
Because I mean,
that's
he's scraping by.
What did I say? A big fucking bag of money?
Yeah.
It was something like that.
You know why he's gonna get the big contract? He's gonna buy gas.
Yeah, no shit.
Just speaking of that, yesterday I pull up because I'm like, I better get filled up. You know, I only had half a tank. You know, and I know gas is gonna go up to like, I don't know. It's gonna go up to like 18 rubles per hectare.
It's only 18 cents right now.
No, so I pull up at Quick. I know I go up to Quick Trip. There's a guy putting a 10 in next to me.
1 gallon.
I was like
2.5 gallons. He got. That's what he got.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell are you doing with that? He goes, I'm driving over. I need enough gas to drive to the bank to take a loan to fill the rest of the tank. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. You know it's bad when the nation's leading electric car manufacturer is telling the administration that it's time to open up the pipelines.
You know what they got to invent? I just thought of this.
Wait, don't say you might make money.
Well, someone probably tried to do it.
We need a place to build. We can't find any open areas.
There's probably reasons why they don't do it, but I don't know why, because they have ATM machines. How about be able to pay at the pump with cash? Like you slide money in like a bill changer type thing. It takes the money. You don't got to go inside. You want to pay $20. It pumps $20.
Like Quick Trip.
I mean, maybe they're afraid of people breaking in, but I mean, you have ATMs all over the place.
Yeah, why
there's
couldn't
got to be a way.
You couldn't have a tube that goes down into the ground. You know that.
Yeah.
So
or somebody right in the building. You know,
somebody would have to climb down there and through a sewer
I'm
hole.
just saying, it was just kind of. I just thought when you said that, people pay at the pump got to go inside. You know, because now Quick Trip makes you do it now.
Yeah.
So. Not I always
which we judge Quick Trip as all gas stations. So have to compare.
They are the leader.
Yeah,
they are the leader in gas.
We should get Charlie Barons on here to tell us all about them.
Quick Trip is the best. It is. So let's. Sorry.
What'd you say before?
The rubles?
No, Glenn. Shit. Glenn said something else, and I forgot what it was. Now I forgot.
I haven't said much. I mean,
I had something for that. I forgot what it was now.
We were just talking about the Packers market altering contract.
No, that wasn't it. Whatever. Something with gas.
Okay.
I think I get gas.
You're listening to the Basement Benchwarmers podcast. Check us out on Facebook at Basement Benchwarmers, also on Instagram at Basement Benchwarmers, and on Twitter at Base Benchwarmers, and our email is basementbenchwarmers@gmail.com. So let's go to our snake draft tonight. We got 3 of us, so that's good. Well, maybe we'll do a lot. We'll do a bunch of honorable mentions with this. TV show characters. Any TV show character your favorite of all time, top 4. So snake draft. So we'll let Glenn start tonight. Glenn's over here. So who do you want to start with, Glenn?
So I'm pausing because I'm going to take the easy one. I'm going to take the layup. Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's Ted Lasso off the table before we start.
No, he's a current character. He's a great character.
Yeah, it's a great character.
Still short series.
Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen the show yet, which we rave about it all the time, he's one of those characters that he's essentially Ned Flanders, but he's such a likable guy. You can feel his pain because he's always happy, but you can tell he's sad, especially the first season with his kid and everything. Yeah. Almost makes you cry, you're watching this comedy, and it's a great character. I thought it's a good one.
Yes, very good. Great character.
Oh, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite characters of all time, Red Foreman. I can feel him inside too and make me cry. Shut up, dumbass.
I get 2. I'm gonna go with Jack Tripper. from Three's Company.
Oh, I love Jack Tripper.
Who doesn't like Jack Tripper? You gotta like him. And I'm gonna go from a show I just binge watched in the last few months. Yellowstone. The character's name is Rip on the show. You never seen it?
That's what's the redheaded guy?
Who's the ranch?
Yeah, he's the redheaded girl's husband or boyfriend. Oh yeah, they got married.
Oh, yeah,
Whoa,
that's
I'm
spoiler
not
because I've only
watching it
seen a
now.
couple
Well,
episodes.
it's not they get married.
So he's the guy for I can't think of his name.
He was
but-
on something years ago and didn't have a beard and stuff, but he's been on stuff.
Oh, he was in Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I can't think of his name right off.
But he's one of my favorite characters. And
Great character.
Like I said, I just watched the show and he was a great character. Just
Like when the bikers are trying to go on their land, and he just drives up and drives right over this. No fucking way! Just drives over all their bikes.
that was
Gets out. Yeah, it's just crazy.
just walks to the guy with a shotgun, just
Yeah.
walks right at him. You ain't gonna shoot me.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Okay, that's my two. Good. Look at that. I went from comedy to intense drama.
Yeah, they're
In a
great.
matter of seconds.
Great characters.
What if Rip lived with the Three's Company and Jack Tripper was the ranch hand?
Yeah, but would you want Cindy? Yeah, or Cindy replaces who's the ranch hand on the one chick?
Yeah.
Peter,
Yeah,
Tweeter.
Tweeter, yeah. Or and then Mr. Frilly is Kevin Costner. Get away from my horses!
Oh! And every time he walks in, he sees Rip like doing something. What? What's he doing to that horse?
Tony Gagliardi says your clarity is much better tonight. Must be because Willie is gone and not blocking the air with his beard.
It does sound clear. Even here, it sounds clear.
Yeah. It's always like a windstorm with Willie over here.
I think it is. It's just like the whistling from his nose hair. It's like a
So should I
party.
do this?
Yeah.
It's like a party favor, you know. Just,
Sounds like a cat scratching on a litter box over there. Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna pick a cartoon this time. Sterling Archer, the world's greatest spy.
That would be from Archer, correct?
From Archer.
Okay.
What gave
Yeah.
it away?
Always drunk. Everybody thinks he's a moron, but he always has the answer and he always comes out ahead, you know, but gets beat up a lot. He kills a lot of people.
I got to do two now. So
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of regular TV. I'm more of like the extended cable channels.
That's fine.
So one that came to mind was Sons of Anarchy. I love that show.
Oh, yeah, good
So,
call.
and there's a lot of great characters in that.
Yep.
But I really like Opie.
Opie was great.
Yeah, and he ended up being
His head bashed.
he was a character in The Walking Dead, which is another favorite series of mine. He had seasons in there.
Who was he played by?
Uh,
Can't remember his name.
yeah, I'll look up it. He's like a classically trained actor and everything. But
Yeah, they had great actors on that show. I mean, I watched on and off for a few years.
it's a great.
My wife
it is,
loves that
yeah.
show, but great actors on that show.
So then for my third one, huge fan of this FX series, The Shield. I mean, and the main character, Vic Mackey, was just a badass.
Vic
in that.
Mackey was awesome. Oh, that was a great show.
After the first episode's the best, when they have a guy that supposedly like took a kid,
Oh yes,
and it sets the whole tone for
Yeah.
the show because you really don't know. You know, you kind of see some stuff right at the beginning where they shoot the guy right at the beginning. You know, but then they're trying to get the information from this guy where this kid is, and then they send in Vic Mackey, and the guy goes, "Oh, we're gonna play good cop, bad cop?" He goes, "I'm a whole different kind of cop."
yeah.
And it comes out like 10 minutes later, and he goes, "The kid's at this address."
That's
The
right,
guy
yeah.
just beat to a pulp.
Yeah,
You
it was
know.
a pretty raw show for its
Oh
time.
yeah, it
Oh
was,
yeah, it was a leader in all those shows.
Yep.
Yep.
yeah. That's one of my favorite characters too. So this is one of my other favorite characters. You got two there, right?
I did. Yep.
Clayton Bigsby, the black blind white supremacist from Dave
Yep.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
White power. It's just great. It's just a great character, and somebody actually thought of it and somehow got it on TV. I can't figure that part out.
So is that where the movie came from? Because there was a movie too, right? Where it was one of the Saturday Night Live black characters ended up being like the lead role. I think who was he?
You'd have to tell.
lost me.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I just know Chappelle. He's just
And you said he was on SNL.
I think he was.
The guy or the character?
The guy. Let me look it up real quick. Great
That's
for,
not
great
like
for radio.
It's not like your Confederate States of America type thing or something.
No,
Huh.
no. Go on. I'll
Yeah,
find
so
it.
that's mine there.
I'm gonna go with my first one's gonna be Tommy Gavin from Rescue Me.
Yeah.
Dennis Leary's character.
Yep.
Just a great show.
Yeah,
great
you've
guy.
talked about it many times.
Love that show. One of my favorite shows of all time. And I'm gonna go with someone, and not to be, it sucks what happened to her with her show, but her show was kind of a changing show for the TV landscape at this time. Was Roseanne.
Yep.
She was one of the greatest characters on TV, I thought, at the time. She was everybody knew someone like that. It could have been your own mom for all we know, but everybody knew someone like that and a family like that. And a lot of our families were like that.
White trash.
Yeah, we were all like that.
Yeah.
We weren't, nobody had a ton of money laying around. We were,
Dan was a drywaller.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and parents were working, and it was working parents with kids with real, problems, like not over the top problems, but just problems, like just kid problems. And it was a good show.
That's what was great about that show. It wasn't like you said, they weren't over the top problems. They were like real problems like kids have.
Yeah.
And then it was.
Well, I'll bring this up. The saddest thing about the changing, how shows change and things like that, is that I once in a while watch the Connor still, which I guess I probably it's okay. I like John Goodman, and I watch once in a while. But this last episode was just a kind of it was over the top. And obviously things like this aren't over the top because they're not great things. But so there was a shooting at their mall nearby their house. And so they shut down the city and all that.
It's Chicago.
Well, it's outside Langford.
That's
yeah.
Nice.
And so they told people to stay in their houses. So everybody's freaked out. They're going way over the top on this. I mean, it's daytime, and they're closing windows, and it's like, oh my God, they're all scared to death about this person. Well, Dan goes in his bedroom into a lockbox and gets his gun, puts it in his pocket. Everybody freaks out. What do you got? What do you got there for? Blah blah. Now, first and foremost, what I laugh about is all these people live in his house with him.
Yeah.
If you don't like it,
get the hell out of my house.
Get out. Yeah. But of course, his character was like, I'm not letting someone come in. Oh, so the guy walks in, he's gonna shoot out with him, and in my head, I'm like, so okay,
yeah.
So you don't have a gun, and he just shoots all of you. Yeah. I mean, yeah. When the door gets open, you guys all go in the other room, and I'll take care of him. Don't worry.
Yeah, if you got that big of a problem with it, go stand outside and wave them over here.
Yeah,
tell them old Dan's inside waiting.
But the craziest thing about the show is that the granddaughter comes home next day with money and gives the money and sold his gun. And he was like, I don't agree with your deal, but I understand why you did it. Oh my God, she'd come back with like 50 grand at my house. Well, I'm just saying though, I'm just saying, I mean, she goes into the lock and the one, she just had a baby. Oh, I have a year's son. He is doing it how you're supposed to. He's got a lockbox with a code on it. And that's the funniest thing about the show is that they do say, oh, yeah, lockbox with a code. Well, it's every other from Chicago. It says it's 1985. That's not the original Super Bowl. He goes, perfect. He goes, well, I guess it's time to change that. But besides the joke of it all, it was like, guy has a lockbox. He's doing it right. Why does it matter to you? It's locked away in a drawer. Someone gets, and it's not loaded. Someone gets the box. They can't do anything with it. It's a box.
You got one, Glenn? A lockbox?
Probably don't need one in your house.
I don't have guns.
I do have one. I have one. I haven't put a gun in it yet, but I got the biometric
for your car.
Yeah, just I got nowhere to like put it. I can't find a bracket that fits where I need it to go.
Yeah, so I just thought it was. I did say that, but I just thought it was a weird take on it because basically he was doing everything right and he was still wrong.
Yeah,
it made no sense to me, and I just laughed because then this is exactly why the show you got rid of your main person because
when they were so edgy to begin with.
Oh yeah,
I mean they were like the only other family was even near were the Bundys, but they were like a caricature, you know.
Sarah Gilbert, who is this, she's pretty liberal, and who is a lesbian in real life, married to a famous singer, Melissa Etheridge.
No wonder why she's not returning my calls.
But she plays a straight woman on the show. What? Why don't you just play a lesbian on the show?
Right.
What's the big deal? Seriously.
Because it's not acting.
Well, and she dresses like a little boy, so it's weird. It's like you dress. I'm like,
and wasn't she married to Johnny Galecki?
Yeah, on the show.
On the show,
and they have kids. He's been on a couple times, but like the other daughter, she's whatever, got a boyfriend or
the
something.
Blonde one, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, why don't you just play who you are? Now you're on a show. I'm gonna play I just don't. It's
acting, Scott.
It's confusing to me.
She's a famous lesbian.
Yeah. So I started to rant about that because, like I said, it's still yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
That was a good session though. We got a lot on the Connors. I mean, let's do a few more rounds because I got so
Oh
many.
yeah. That's fine.
Wait,
I
I
mean,
didn't,
I'm gonna
get
go
number 4 yet.
well, you,
I'm-
you got,
just
you got
my
four.
fourth.
You got
Yeah,
back-to-back fours.
and I still got a stack of them here, and I like a lot of them. So I mean, they're still one of the greatest. But I'm gonna go Theodore Beaver Cleaver. You ever watch Leave It to Beaver? I
yeah.
love Leave It to Beaver. I still stop and watch. He's punching girls and shooting rats at the dump, and he's always There was one the other day where he got in he went over to like a girl, like this girl brought him home to like a party type thing, and the dad's there, and Beaver like goes into his office. He's like, "Wow, you got a lot of guns." "Oh yeah. Y'all want to see my gun here?" He pulls it down and gives it to Beaver, and he's like, "Yeah, I shot some guys back in the war with that." It's like that's just how it was in the 50s. Every guy had shot somebody at that point.
Yeah.
But just a great, still wholesome, but the same thing. He gets in the little things every week, and at the end, he's told what he did wrong, and he corrects his behavior.
And he fixed it because he's the beef.
And then Ward put him in the Marines. He went to Nam or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, when you were talking about the Connors, I was thinking we get too wrapped, or TV shows get too wrapped up in trying to address the current situation of the time. But then when you talk about like older shows, they still did that. It just wasn't so over the top, and what it wasn't.
Well, they'd have that moment, like
Yeah.
Brady Bunch had a bunch of those. I mean, he'd sit there like over the, and I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. It'd be just a conversation with the kid explaining what he did wrong, and then you move on. It's not like a whole. I know exactly what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah, dramatic now, and like.
And I think you respond to it better if it's more of a conversation than here's a 100-mile fastball at your face.
Yeah.
You got to take it now.
Well,
Yeah.
then Hollywood being, generally liberal, they're forcing their opinion on you, like hard in these shows nowadays. It's not just the facts and you get to decide how to respond to it. They're telling you how to respond to the situation in their stories.
And it was a perfect example on that show, The Connors I was watching. Dan just said, "No, I'm going to get my gun back. You guys can move out. This is my house.
Right.
I have it correctly how it's supposed to be stored. I'm a responsible gun owner.
Yep.
I have my permit to have this. So I should be able to have this gun. If you don't
if you ever touch my gun again, I'm going to shoot one of you assholes.
But I'm just saying, I mean, if they say it that way, understand, then maybe the kids go, okay, we understand. As long as you're safe with it, Dad, that's, then they respond like, no, it was their way or the highway. And he's the dad who,
well, if you ever see guns on TV, the way they're portrayed, it's unbelievable. You're either, NCIS shooting 27 guys. I just watched NCIS LA. They shot like 11 guys while I was watching. But or it's the gun is bad. The guy with the gun is like Homer Simpson just shooting randomly at the house lights, It's always that kind of.
You don't do that at home?
No, but they try to portray every gun owner as some hillbilly redneck, moron.
Yeah, out of control.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think I brought this up last week on our 100th show. We just had a deer season in Wisconsin, and we had 600,000 guys in the woods with high-powered rifles that'll just blow the sides of a house off, And we had, I don't think, any deaths again this year, or we may have maybe one out of 600,000. But those are the crazy.
well, most time those hunting deaths are heart attacks too.
No, these are actual. I'm talking shootings.
Okay.
And we did have one near us 3 years ago, and in one of the spots we hunt, it's on public land, and the day before, some guy shot one of his buddies, killed him, and that was the first death in a few years. And it was weird because it's a spot I know real well. How do you shoot? How? I don't know. We still think there was something more to that story because it was the guy was shot in a tree stand too by his buddy. And I never went back and really checked on it. So I probably should look that up and see if there's been a court case or. Right.
Well, and there was one year the Hmong guy shot another hunter.
He shot like 5.
Yeah.
They were
harassing him or something.
What the hell was his name? We did our report in college on that. And I had a friend that hunted.
When he was 39, he did a report.
39 college.
Yeah. 7 years ago.
Yep.
You get your final one. Well,
let's just keep going.
Yeah. So, I have to conclude the show Walking Dead because they're in their 10th season. That's taking 3 seasons to.
Now they have guns in that show too.
Guns, crossbows, knives. Yeah.
So
kind of came later in the series, but Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, just does a wonderful job with that character. I know a lot of people get hung up on, oh, that's a zombie show. You know, not
That's a good
interested.
show, though.
There is a lot of character development, and it's a lot of kind of the apocalyptic survival type, show, how they're getting by. It's kind of, I really enjoy the show. I haven't missed a single episode.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like a Western, but with zombies, It's
Yeah,
weird.
I don't know. I'd call it a Western, but yeah,
It's kind of
Yeah.
weird. The one, the obvious one we've missed, Archie Bunker, who is considered probably the greatest character of all time by every news organization or whatever. And he's like, Willie, that would have, I left it because Willie would have took that right away.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm glad you're filling in for Willie with these shows you're picking.
Yeah, you got to pick some old ones when he's here. But obviously, Archie Bunker was way ahead of his time.
Yeah, I got one. I'm upset that I didn't include him in my thing, but I wasn't.
Keep going.
That's what she said.
Michael
Yes,
Scott, hands
yes.
down, was one of the greatest characters in
But the
TV
Ricky
history. Hands
Ricky Gervais
down.
one was good too.
Yeah, but that's that show you could probably name. I'm sorry, Dwight, Jim.
Yep.
They were great characters too. I mean, just insane the characters on the show. How they were just everybody was just their own. I mean, most TV shows they have characters, but they just were their characters are just so out there.
Well, they're kind of believable because they're real people.
Well, they're people at
you know.
jobs.
Yeah.
I've seen Stanley at a job. I've
Yeah.
seen
The crazy
Kevin,
guy.
the chilly guy at the job.
Yeah. Who's the old guy that was?
Creed.
Yeah, Creed.
He actually was in what band was he in back in the day? He was in
in Creed.
a legendary band.
They just named it.
Look it up. He was in a legendary band.
Look it up. I don't even know
Here,
who
I'll
that
look it up.
is.
Creed from The Office. I'll look it up. Go ahead. You pick another one while I look it up.
Well, I actually invest in a beet farm, so that it's realistic.
Shoots. So we'll just keep going around. Hit another one.
So I got Lost. I loved that show. Sawyer was one of my favorite. That's Josh Holloway, that character. He's kind of the badass guy.
I don't know that show real well.
He was in the Grassroots. His band.
Oh,
was in the
really?
60s. Yeah. Yeah, and they've actually I looked
In
it up.
my midnight confession. Now we're gonna get banned because we're singing the song.
There's a song that that's probably one on top. But yeah, he was in the
Grassroots are a pretty good band.
yeah. So
There's still more.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Don Draper,
Oh.
from Mad Men,
Yeah.
great character. Just, he's perfect.
Las Vegas. Josh Duhamel.
I love James Gunn in that show.
Yeah, he was good too.
He punched somebody every episode. He come running in to punch a guy.
Your dad reminds me of him. A lot.
Yep,
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
But Nikki Cox was great.
Yeah. She married that day. She was. Have you seen her lately? No. She's like
Such a
lot of
monster.
plastic surgery.
Yeah, we talked about this.
She's always real. Like I thought, she's crazy looking.
Well, she was in the Norm Show and a bunch of those shows when she was real young.
Another woman that I thought changed TV a long time ago. One of the funniest women ever, Lucy Ricardo. I love Lucy, hands down. She was one of the greatest. I mean, first couple to sleep in the same. No, they were same bed. Was it them?
No, I thought it was the Brady Bunch.
What? They might
No,
have.
so the Brady Bunch always had one leg on the floor. Little known fact.
But that was the first one, I think.
Well,
wasn't
to
it?
show them in the bed together.
To show them in the
I
bed
agree.
together.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they were a little
Which
longer.
is crazy because the Brady Bunch, it's like a goofy
Yeah.
family, but it was realistic.
But
It was-
Lucy, Desi.
Lucy would be happy right now. She'd be rooting for Russia for sure in this fight. Damn communist.
The Mertzes. Yeah. So everybody. So they were. That was a great show.
Everybody loved Raymond. Ray Romano was great. Man.
Brad Garrett was good.
Brad Garrett's
Brad.
good in there too.
The dad was awesome. Peter Boyle. Was that Peter Boyle, the dad?
Yeah, probably.
He was hilarious. He was just a crotchety old dad they lived next door. The mom was overbearing, of course. Yeah.
I haven't seen that show in a long time.
It's another great show. Yeah.
Ray went on to do that show after, and it was with
that show wasn't too bad.
what was it called? Like crazy old guys. Jeez, what the hell was the name of it?
I can't remember.
But it was him, Scott Bakula. God, I can't think of. Shoot,
Ray
it
Romano.
was a good show too, and it was on for only a couple years.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Well, Homer Simpson.
Yeah,
Easy, pretty. That's a no-brainer there.
I'm going. You brought up Ray Romano or Carlos Raymond. Well, you gotta go with Kevin James and Cancun.
I was thinking that too. I was gonna
God,
throw it out there.
he was awesome.
What a bum! He's just
He
a
was
loser.
awesome. He was so awesome, man.
He's funny. I mean, we've seen him live before, and he's funny as shit.
Yeah.
So I got it. You're thinking of Men of a Certain Age.
Yep, that's it.
That was a good show.
And Adrian Brogner or whatever is the other guy. No,
No, that's Romano.
yeah, Brogner or something. The African American fellow. Because there was like
Andre Brower.
Andre. There it is. I was getting
Yeah,
Spectacular, yeah.
Yeah, I was getting there.
that was a good show.
That was a good
wasn't
show.
Too bad, yeah. I don't think I got another one here. This is old, not the new, revised version of the show because I didn't like the revised version. Will and Grace, Jack McFarland was hilarious on it.
Will?
No,
I don't know who it is.
It was Jack, who was played by his name is Sean Hayes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now I know.
Just
Yeah.
Jack. It was hilarious. And
Made
Karen,
Sean Hayes
and
famous.
Karen is would work with Grace, but she was a drunk, whatever. And it was those two should have had their own show. Actually, it was better than Will and Grace, but yeah.
Will's like one of the worst characters in TV history.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't like him in that show.
He's so weak. Just a weak character.
Yeah.
Were you guys a fan of Last Man Standing? With Tim
Tim
Allen?
Allen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a few of them.
Tim Allen's good in anything. He's that same kind of guy. He's a guy's guy, you know.
Well, he's uber conservative too, and he
Yeah.
doesn't hold back. That's why was it Fox? No, Fox picked him up. And one of the other shows dropped him.
Yeah, CW.
Because
He
of
ended
that.
up on CW at the end.
Yep.
Then.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
on ABC to start.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's good in everything. I mean, that was like supposed to be the guy that was at Bass Pro Shop and everything, or whatever they call it.
Yep.
Outdoor World or something.
Yeah. Outdoorman. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe nobody said this one. Arthur Fonzarelli.
Hey.
He's just got his statue waxed.
Did he?
They shined it in Milwaukee.
Yeah. They
Nice.
repainted it and everything. Yeah.
How about Tony Soprano? I didn't watch the show.
Oh,
I didn't
he's a great character.
Was he good?
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
watch it.
Okay.
You never seen The Sopranos?
No.
Very good character because he's just a complete piece of shit, but you still like him. It's weird. There's characters like that nowadays. There's a lot of them, but he was like the first. Or Vic Mackey's the same thing.
Mhm.
Just the guy's just a degenerate. But Dexter, the guy's murdering people, chopping them up, and throwing them in the ocean. You're still like rooting for him.
Yeah, we got so many shows we're missing here.
What about you guys? Were you a big fan of Entourage?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The whole cast. I
Yeah,
mean,
the whole
Yeah,
cast.
that's
that was a
great.
great
I think
show.
Drama would be my
was
favorite.
Pretty good, yeah.
He's just what a
Turtle. It was just a good cast.
It's gonna be us.
Oh well, no,
Two
the
weeks.
best character on that show, hands down, was
Ari Fleischman.
oh,
Yes.
and his receptionist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Asian,
yeah,
the
guy, yeah.
Asian dude, the way he talked to
what's
him,
his name?
I'm like, holy cow! I know it's HBO, but
God, what was his name? The receptionist.
what was his name?
Oh man,
I can
it's
think
been
of
a
it.
long time.
I can think of it.
Ari's
Ari was the greatest.
that's a great character.
How about Cheers? Sam Malone, Woody Harrelson,
Coach Pantuso?
Coach, yeah, Norm.
Yeah, all of the top like 5 or I mean, a lot of people said Carla too. I mean, she's just a rough. But I'm gonna be honest, and I hate to say this because I sound like a dick, but the women were all kind of, to me, just boring characters. Even they
I like
weren't-
Shelley Long better than I like Kirstie Alley.
for sure.
Kirstie Alley
for
was
sure.
okay, but Shelley
But
Long
all
was
the
pretty good.
guys in that were all great
Yeah.
characters. Somebody, I mean, obviously guys were right in that show.
Seinfeld, any character, Kramer.
Yeah, Cosmo Kramer.
I mean, every Canary show was pretty good.
Because Stans is a a great character. too.
Lloyd was the receptionist name. It was
Lloyd.
Ari Gold.
Lloyd.
Ari Gold. I don't know why I said Fleischman.
I thought it was yeah. Yeah, there's so many. God, TV.
Lassie, great character.
Lassie. How about
I did that for my dogs. They're listening
How
tonight.
about Gilligan?
Gilligan's a great.
Gilly.
That's
Tom-
it. Old friends, they call him Gilly.
Thomas
Gilly.
Magnum.
We're like this. Oh yeah,
Great stash.
Higgins.
Ex-Vietnam guy.
That was there's. I mean, we could do this for days.
And I could do a couple weird characters like Ricky from now I can't think of the stupid show name. Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, jeez. I've only seen a couple episodes of that.
Oh,
a long
just
time ago.
it's just ridiculous. They're just drunk and selling pot and
Yeah.
getting in trouble with the cops constantly. I'm gonna go about 4 or 5 more here.
Okay.
I got a few more here. Al Bundy, obviously, great character. I mean, he's likable and just a loser. Fred Sanford, nobody said.
Oh yeah. Oh, how about I mean, maybe have it. can't think of it off the top of my head. Jefferson's.
George Jefferson.
George Jefferson.
I thought you were gonna say Wheezy.
No, well, actually, what's his name? The maid was great too. Marla Gibbs.
Marla Gibbs
was awesome in that show.
Then she was so good they gave her a place at 227.
Yeah, they sure did.
Oh, Mary.
You might have this on the How About Peter Griffin?
No, it was an obvious one.
A lot of those characters on there are great too. I mean, that's just a great show.
Alex P. Keaton.
Oh yeah, that's
a classic one.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Yeah, from the Smith.
Or
Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah. Or you can Carlton.
Yeah,
was a great character
Alfonso.
too.
Well, Alfonso Rivera and Silver Spoons.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Great show.
When you were saying Ricky, that's what
Ricky
Schroeder.
Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets.
Okay, that was a good one, but I cannot. We forgot this guy. Man, we could do this for days.
I know.
How about Dennis Franz from NYPD Blue?
Oh yeah,
that was a great. And actually, Jimmy Smith was great too.
At the beginning. Well, even when it come later, because the first guy sucked. God, I can't think of the guy from CSI Miami. You're busted.
He was. Was he the first one?
Yeah, he was the first. He was on the first year.
Yeah, and then Jimmy Smith took his place, and then it was Ricky Schroeder.
Ricky Schroeder was awesome too.
Mark Paul Gosselaar was really good too.
Yeah,
they were all good.
Yeah, the first guy was the worst. They talked about him like Dennis Franz though was like
any Friends character. Dennis
Franz wasn't he? Didn't he get shot like in the first episode or first or second?
Oh yeah.
Right off the bat, he got shot a bunch of times.
Who's your favorite Friends character?
I don't like any of them.
I have to say Phoebe. She was so out there.
Monica. Just to look at.
Harmonica.
Mm-hmm.
Fat Monica.
No, not teenage Monica.
That was awesome. Fat Monica. You ever watch Friends?
I don't like it.
You don't like Friends?
No, everybody loves Friends
because he doesn't have any.
No,
I know that's why I don't watch it. I don't want to feel sad.
We can always hang at the coffee shop together. That's right. So.
At the Peach Pit.
No, that's another great show. Beverly Hills.
I saw that one too.
Melrose Place. That was good. That was solid, but I'll take
it. Was the cough? Oh God, what was the name of the place they hung up?
Central Perk.
Yeah, I was the only character on 90210. I'm jumping all over now that I did not like, and Shannon Doherty's character I hated on the show.
But Andrea?
No, she was. It was Jason Priestley, their brother and sister. They were supposed to be twins, weren't they?
Right.
What the hell were their names? Jason Priestley and I don't know.
Remember.
But Kelly,
Dylan,
and it was. Andrea was she was a lot older,
70-year-old.
She was a high schooler.
She was actually 30 years old.
Yeah,
I watch a show on it.
And then it was Donna and David.
Yep.
And I cannot remember their name. That's hilarious. Then they were the main characters too.
Were you missing Ian Ziering?
Well, Kelly and Ian or Steve. No, not Steve.
And then Kelly Kapowski came on later.
Yeah,
I can't think of her name.
His name was Steve on the show.
Yeah, it was
Ian
Steve.
Ziering was Steve. Steve and Kelly, they went out for a while. Then Kelly and Dylan, then Kelly and Jason Priestley were on the show. They dated.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Brandon and Brenda.
Brandon.
Yeah, from Minnesota.
From Minnesota. Okay, so
fun fact, real quick. So the Andrea,
you dated
wore a Jewish star
on
a necklace, and the network told her she couldn't do it. She said, I'll only take it off if nobody else is ever allowed to wear it. And that was the end of wearing crosses on TV shows. I mean, they probably do it now again, but
yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
They made a big deal.
Any religious symbol you couldn't wear for a while.
Well, did you watch the show about it? It was hilarious because they were like, well, you can't show that because people in the Midwest will get upset.
Exactly, yeah.
And then it was like, well, you can't do that because people in the Midwest. And she's like, who are all these fucking people in the Midwest that are upset about everything?
The Midwest probably don't care.
We don't give two shits. That's how they look at us.
The right and left coast that worry about it all.
So it's a show called the Dark Side of the 90s, and that was the episode.
Yeah, it was great.
The Dark Side of the 90s.
It's on Hulu.
Is it like a weekly show or just like
it's a series? I don't think it's a weekly.
It's got a whole bunch of different things on there though,
like
but
stuff like
one of them was
like facts like
the
that.
first one I watched was about the Viper Room, which was pretty interesting.
I don't remember
River Phoenix dying in front of it and all that stuff. Yeah, but I didn't know Johnny Depp owned that at the time.
Oh,
see,
it's pretty good.
Dark
good
Side of the 90s.
Great owner. Yeah. Another show I started watching. So I tell you guys this is what we call Adam Eats the 90s or 80s. Adam that used to do the Adam guy that used to do the
Spoils Everything.
No, not that guy. He used to do the food show, but I took it over from him. He used to go eat all the big plates of food at the end, like
Man versus Food or
something.
Like
the old Adam guy that did that. But he's in like the last couple of shows, like he did one on like all this candy from the 80s, and then he did how I told you about the breakfast pizza at Domino's they had. I ever tell you that? That came from there. There was actually a breakfast pizza at Domino's years ago, and you got a coffee and paper delivered to you with it. I didn't tell you that.
What network is that on? service?
History channel.
So like Disney Plus will have it.
I believe.
No,
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
they're Nat Geo.
Hulu might have it.
Disney History is Paramount, I think, right?
Maybe.
Ooh, I don't have that one.
Yeah, but it might
There's
be on
50
Hulu
different
or
ones now.
something.
I have Hulu now because somebody from across the street where I live logged in at my house one time, and I just created my own user on their account. You didn't notice it?
No.
I titled it Glenn Knows Everything. You'd be like, what the heck?
Nice.
So I got my Disney Plus.
Same thing. Wait, FCC, we are not stealing.
No, sharing.
Yeah, sharing.
We live close enough. So yeah, that was our 3-hour talk about TV shows tonight. So let's talk about our Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Let's name some wrestlers. So the best wrestlers of all time. I'm gonna
Glenn, you're a big wrestling fan, right? From back in the old days.
I probably was. I'm not anymore. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead, Glenn. You start.
Triple H was always one of my favorites.
And he's one of the big shots in the whole.
Well, because he married into it.
Yeah, he married into the. What would you call it?
The Empire.
Empire. I like that word.
The McMahon Empire.
Yeah, I started watching The Mandalorian, and they use the term empire a lot there.
And Venom. That's where you're hearing.
Well, the reason I thought of this topic because I saw a YouTube with the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Mark Calloway, but he was out of character and just telling stories about getting drunk and stuff. But he doesn't give up any of the guys' names or But the Undertaker's been around since I was a kid. I mean, pretty much.
A long time.
Yeah, and he's a monster.
Yeah, a lot of people think that they actually changed actors or athletes that played him, but it's always been the same one.
How could you?
Right.
There's no. I mean, it's not like the Ultimate Warrior where you just put more face paint on him, and we knew the other Ultimate Warrior had OD'd at that point. You know, he's not going to make the list because
we can have Bernie's him.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Triple H, D-Generation X for a while, DX. He was kind of a sidekick for a long time, and then he kind of broke out. I mean, he's a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never watched wrestling.
Really?
But I know him, so
we never.
Not really. One. I mean,
not even like the '80s when it was like Hulk Hogan versus the Giant.
That's what we watched. Yeah.
No. Not really. Jenny's been to WrestleMania. I never have.
Really? I've never been there.
Yeah, I never have either.
I think County Stadium. It was like she's on the upper deck. They were like this big. She said. It was.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Did you watch the cartoon?
No. Didn't even know there was a cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah, I used to play it on Sega too.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble on Sega.
My first guy is gonna be not a wrestler. I do this all the time.
You're gonna take Vince McMahon.
No, it's gonna be Mean Gene.
Oh, I love Mean Gene Okerlund.
Dude, he was a big part of the whole thing when he I mean, I guess I watched him when he interviewed after and stuff. That was probably more entertaining than the actual wrestling because he used to, it was
before and after. Yeah,
he was part of the production.
He got involved.
I don't want to take Vince McMahon because he is wrestling. You know,
right.
Or
Shane.
But Mean Gene was some of the. Have you seen those ones with Macho Man? Look them up on YouTube. They're great. He's like, and he's like talking with I'm the head of the creamer. He's got creamer on his head or on his shoulder. It's just like, and Mean Gene has got to hold a straight face, and he's savages. The cream rises to the top, Oh yeah, and then it like falls off, and he's like, but it doesn't matter, Mean Gene. And Gene is just stone faced, and they walked off stage and he shit himself because it's just like.
Then they shared a Slim Jim.
Yep, he snapped into it.
Yeah, he snapped into it.
Oh.
Well, who's the
I mean, I got to go Hogan.
Hulk Hogan would be up there. I mean, just because he's who he is.
Yeah.
And The Rock. I mean,
The Rock.
He kind of revitalized wrestling for a while there.
Andre Giant would be up there, maybe.
He's classic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold would be, I think, in that group. I mean, if you're not taking Vince McMahon and guys, you got.
How about John Cena?
He's more after I started watching.
Yeah, me too. I don't know so much about him.
But like, I'm thinking of the Hart family. Just
the whole family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they and their dad was I think it was the Minnesota fighting, wasn't it? The Hart family?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they had the whole wrestling camp and everything.
Well, and then you had the managers too. So you had the Mouth of the South. You had Elizabeth and
Jimmy Mouth of the South. Yeah. And Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Rowdy
Piper. Yeah.
Jerry the King Lawler. Mm-hmm. Mick Foley might be on somebody's actually because he's been around for
3 characters.
Mankind,
maybe 4.
Who's the guy
Doink the Clown?
Do you name who goes woo?
Oh, that's Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
You might be right. If you were taking the top 4, he's got to be right up there.
Just because,
Yeah, and I was never that.
No, I wasn't a fan of
wrestling.
him either, but he is primetime, old time wrestling.
Right.
man.
Well, you had WWF, and then you had the other one. I can't remember what it was.
WCW?
Called. WCW, and I was never a WCW guy.
Yeah.
Do you know why WWF had to change their name? You guys probably know.
World Wildlife Fund.
Yeah.
And I think, are they back to WWF now, or is it still WWE?
No, they just call it Raw. They just call it Raw now, right?
Well, that's the show.
That's a show, but I think everybody just knows it's WWE. But it was funny how they had to change their name. I'm like, you think you would have thought of that before you?
Yeah, and
stupid wildlife.
And if anybody listening has some guys that they think ours aren't correct, throw something on Facebook because there's guys at different ages. We've seen a lot more of the 80s when it was just coming into the character type thing.
Yeah, like Sting. You had the 4 Horsemen. So like I knew of the WCW guys, and then NWO back then with Diamond Dallas Page and
well, I loved Razor Ramon, and then he went to the NWO and he was Paul and Nash.
Yeah.
So
who's the money guy? Ted
Ted
DiBiase.
DiBiase.
Yeah,
Yep.
he would throw money at people.
And he was somehow involved in something because they make a big joke of it, but he was, I think, involved in the whole program too.
Oh, like developing
Yeah,
WWE.
If I remember right, he's like one of the founder type guys. I might be wrong there. Yeah, I don't know a lot of the newer stuff after like
China. China's not new. She was
I know.
generation.
Yeah, but
Plus, you got that video. One night in China.
2 fists in one night in China. What's the video I saw? In a cup.
2 girls in 2 cups in one country. What is it called? I don't know.
2 kegs and 1 girl.
She wasn't. And she was.
Hey, I was all Chinese-eyed watching that too. I was all squinting.
How about Stacey Keebler?
Yes. I don't know who that is.
Oh, look her up.
I should. I'm gonna do it right now. I already got my pants down.
Usually you don't even wear them.
We did pre-show. Never pulled them up.
I knew we were going to talk about wrestling. Guys are all oiled up.
Boner time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bill.
So that was our wrestling. So let's see what a few more things we got here. The Lakers legend Phil Jackson has been hanging around with Jeannie Buss all season talking about team matters. I got an idea. Blow it up, like we talked about. You see the interview. Russell Westbrook, the reporter, should get a gold star and an Emmy. Questioned Russell Westbrook and said, "So, what did you think?" I wish I remember the quote, but basically he asked Russell Westbrook, "What did you imagine coming here when you came, and what did you think was going to happen by joining this team or something?" He just basically answered the question, goes, "What do you think I was thinking was going to happen?" And the reporter looks at him, "Probably more wins." Winner, friend of the show, or interviewer was, he's friend of the show. Get the t-shirt. Because I was like, wow. Good for him. Good for him.
Are the Lakers gonna be hiring like Jen Psaki when she quits to just spin the Lakers season?
I don't know, man.
They're bad. I mean,
they're no good.
We called it though. I don't know if I remember at least a few of us talked about it. How that Russell Westbrook thing is not gonna work. It's just more old guys that want the ball.
I didn't like it at all, and it wasn't good. And
we were right.
I think the other night LeBron did have 50 points. It's pretty funny. Stafford was sitting in the front row, and he looked at Stafford and he goes, "I had to show off for you being here tonight," or something like that. He said to him, so that was kind of funny, I guess. But
yeah,
and then he went on to lose 4 more games in a row. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what happened. I don't know, but yeah. So
let me just add something to this. So I just found this his wife, Westbrook's wife, snapped on Skip Bayless because he keeps not harassing, but he calls him Westbrick.
That's a great name.
So she went on Twitter and tried to berate him.
Now
it's always the wives coming to these guys.
MLB.com is going to be using that Westbrick thing.
Yeah, right. These people with the Twitter and all that, it's only so much you can do on Twitter. I mean, you're arguing with a guy with a microphone.
Yeah.
He talks about it. He gets a show every single day and can respond if
he's
he
up
wants.
on the mountain.
Yeah,
speaking down on you.
He can respond if he wants, and the only person that cares is we'll chuckle about it and move on in our day, but you only one that really cares about what he says.
Yep.
You really are, because we laugh and whatever.
Right.
You think Skip goes back and gets a couple tacos at his brother's restaurants, and
Is that his brother?
Yeah.
Oh, they are related.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Rick and Skip.
Rick and
Look at they kind of look alike.
Yeah, I guess.
Except Rick's got that little thing right here, you know.
That's where we ate in Chicago the one time. His place.
Yeah, we ate
Bayless.
at
like their side.
something Blanco.
It was good.
Yeah, what was it? Casablanco or
I don't
it's something
know.
like that.
It was yummy Blanco.
It was legit the best chips I've ever had.
The chips, the salsa, the taco, everything we had was excellent there.
Yeah,
we got in. Luckily,
I've eaten at the one at O'Hare a few times.
I never ate there. Was it pretty decent?
It's La Frontera.
Yeah, La Frontera.
Frontera
yeah,
Grill,
yeah. Was it pretty good?
Tortas Frontera.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5.
Was it pretty good?
Yeah, oh yeah. I had a breakfast there and it was legit.
I'm flying out of Chicago.
Supposedly
in
it's one of the best restaurants. It's one of the best airport restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
But they've been saying for years his Frontera Grill is the best restaurant in the United States.
Oh, really?
I've eaten there too.
Yeah, it's
really good.
It's
Is
legit.
is there in Chicago?
Yeah, it's downtown, but it's hard to get in there.
I don't have it ready.
In China?
Yeah, baby.
Frontera Grill in China? How's that go? Sorry.
You have to use chopsticks.
Our one fans are going to be upset with my
That's my
language.
phone. It's on.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be awesome.
So the NCAA tournament kicks off. Not tournament, the actual conference tournaments this week. By next Sunday you'll have our bracket, and we'll be talking bracket next week.
We'll call in from the stadium.
Yep. So next Monday will be our we'll break down the brackets. Maybe do our maybe do a pool, and we'll pick our winners and go on.
We don't gamble, Calvin. Not on our picks.
A lot of good tournaments out there. Big Ten is possibly going to have I think 5 or 6 teams in a tournament, so it'll be big for them. We'll see. So obviously Wisconsin and Purdue will be in for sure. Illinois will be in. I think all Iowa, Ohio State, and Michigan State, no matter what do there in the tournament. Rutgers and Michigan, no. Michigan.
You're looking at a good 6, maybe
if
7.
if they win it, they can get in. These teams have to win it, but yeah, you're going to get 5 or 6 teams, maybe 7, in for the Big Ten. So obviously your normals, Duke is be in there, Kansas. We'll see everybody in there as usual. So we'll find out next week the field who's playing where.
And Baylor won last year, right?
Baylor won last year, beat Gonzaga.
How are they looking this year?
They're going to be a number 1 seed again.
Gonzagas are going to be too.
I believe Gonzaga is going to be number 1 seed.
I know they were the top seed a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it's Auburn. I believe Auburn, Baylor, Arizona, Gonzaga, and that's 4, right?
4.
And they're projecting your 4 number 1s right there. I think.
And those teams are all good. I haven't watched a lot of college basketball this year.
Yeah. I watch them more in tournament anyway. I'll watch them maybe next week, and I'll watch the tournament. I'll watch them and just on it.
Hopefully, I get to watch the cheerleaders. We get to meet up with them again.
You want cheerleader camp?
We did we were telling a story about Willie meeting up with the cheerleaders from Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
At the Bradley Center. At the Bradley Center, all the Michigan cheerleaders were standing out there. So I got a picture of them, and that was his first heart attack.
I know we talked about the MLB lockout. Here's a couple of things they're stuck on still. The MLB's minimum salary is $570. The MLB wants to say $700 plus a $10,000 increase each year. The MLBPA wants to make it $725 with a $20,000 increase each year. Competitive balance tax $210 is what they're at now. The owners want $220 with climbing to $230 and $26. The players want $238 with the climbing to $263 in 26. And then the pre-arbitration bonus pool right now it's not available. $30 million is what the MLB proposes, and the players want $85 million with a $5 million increase per year.
That's the only one. All the other ones are peanuts. They're almost identical.
Yeah. The funny thing with competitive balance, though, it's funny. I mean, you can't. It's what you're getting. What you don't get hit with you don't get hit with the luxury tax if you don't go over it. Some teams don't spend that much. That's why it's stupid. Right. This is like only affects. There's a lot of teams say, okay, that's fine. We ain't gonna go over anyway.
Well, it's affecting the New York teams, Philadelphia.
But it does hurt the lower. Actually, to be honest, the lower teams should be voting against it because it hurts them the most. Because it opens up a can for the big teams. The A's, the Brewers, the Devil Rays teams the Rays teams like that can't compete in the long. I mean, they have their good years, and
name all the teams that can actually compete. The 2 LA teams.
Yep, Cubs,
the Texas Rangers,
Mets, Yankees,
Philadelphia spends big,
Philly.
I'm trying to think of who else spends big.
I think Detroit, if they wanted to, would do it, but I think they're still stuck in that
Nah,
area.
they're gonna stay low.
That's I can't think of anybody
Maybe
else.
Houston.
The Royals. I was good. Yeah, Houston maybe.
There's not a lot. I mean, there's only a handful of teams that spend the money.
Yeah. So let's say 10 teams are affected by that. So the rest of the league pretty much sits there and goes, well, we're stuck here, we're screwed, or because we're not going to spend that much, so we're gonna. It's basically a soft cap in a way, because you can go over and pay the tax. But that's why I'm surprised the owners want it so well. The owners want it low so they protect themselves from having to pay people too much. I get that. But you think the owners will say, okay, screw it. Let's make it 300 million. I'll never get close to that. Yeah, that's fine unless they have to. There isn't a rule because some teams their payrolls are at $80 million. So it's I don't. One thing I take away from this, I like reading on social media and Facebook, people going back and forth. I don't know how you can start with you know what. If you like baseball, you really care who gets what? The evil owner, because you're still buying into the whole hating the man and all that stuff. I mean, then fine. All the owners go take your teams and go home and see all these. I know there's plenty of jobs open. All these baseball players do not want to work real job right now. Right? I'm not being funny.
They can play in the Russian league.
Okay, but
don't bring your pot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though. I mean, these guys. I mean, we sit there feeling bad for a guy because they're not fighting for the guys that are hurting like the minor leaguers. They're just fighting for themselves. Though. There's nothing on here about minor leaguers making money.
No.
Or getting better place to eat. There's nothing in here about that.
Yeah, living conditions.
Nothing in here about that.
There's never is. And it's such a small number. I heard the real number of what it costs, and it was like 50 million, whatever. It was something. I think it was less than that. It was like there's players that make more than all the players in the minor leagues.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Oh yeah. And there's no talking about, well, let's open the minor league pool instead of having that stupid the arbitration pool. How about instead of, once you say as players, okay, fine, we'll go with your 30 million, but the other 50 million you're proposing, we want to put toward our minor league system.
You know, they have this mentality that they came up and struggled, so everybody else has to too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But all this talk, everybody's going to get paid at the end of the day.
Yeah,
all it means is higher prices for tickets, higher prices in the stadium. You know,
they got to watch themselves, especially when we're gonna have another strike now, or it's gonna delay the season. We've done this how many times now in our lifetime? 5th or 6th time.
Okay,
it's bit them in the ass. We're in the middle of a recession or a possible depression here coming up in this country. We got gas prices at like I don't know $11 a gallon today. I don't know. I'll check a quick trip on my way out of here, but
$3.99.
I mean, how long before people just are like, oh, fuck it.
Well, they already are.
I know.
They already work. So now you're going to charge them. California's probably getting close to $8 a gallon. How can anybody afford to work?
The regular people can. It's still going to only be corporations and other people.
Gas to drive to work, not to a game.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not driving 25 minutes to a game.
Well, you're at the point now. If the tickets are $100, or I went to a Red Sox game. They were over 100 last year. It's like, do I go to the game or do I fly to Florida for the week? It's getting to that point where, if I don't go to the 2 or 3 games I go to, I could fly to,
spend 3 days on the beach.
Yeah, somewhere. It's seriously
get a couple good meals.
A goddamn plane ticket to Tampa right now for in about a month is $90. If you look for deals, that's cheaper than a ticket to the Cubs game.
Yeah, we're not even talking about how people in general are just bigger a-holes at games, and it's just it's not even pleasant to sit there sometimes. Right, you're gonna spend all this money to go on a ticket to go in and
for 3 hours. Now, I don't have kids, so it's think about how much you guys know. I mean,
well, if you go to a game, it's not even just a ticket price. It's
the
everything
food
else.
And the travel.
Even if you go to Miller Park and you tailgate, okay, you get a ticket for say $20. Okay, you get inside, so gotta have a beer.
Gotta have a hot dog.
Have a hot dog. Okay, even if it's just you by yourself, you're still gonna spend, $30-$40 inside probably, if not more, if you're with buddies, buy a round, or if you're with family, you buy everybody a hot dog, or you want an ice cream, okay, grab it. We ate in the parking lot, but you want to grab an ice cream, whatever. I mean, they don't look at it that way. They look at it as this. Well, and then end of the year they'll be having family deals. They can't get nobody freaking stadiums, but that's your own fault.
Yeah, if
I
you're
mean,
not winning games, you can't fill that stadium.
and to add to your high, like you're alluding to, adding to your high prices and all this, now you're telling us we can't even watch it because you guys are pouting about who's getting what.
Yeah,
which doesn't get. There's nothing in there about lower ticket prices. I didn't see players fighting for lower ticket prices for fans. I didn't see that in there.
And I can't even watch my favorite team without buying a special contract.
That's the thing there. The big thing people are saying, you're going to lose a lot. That MLB is going to lose a lot of subscribers that are packages, and that's what they're trying to make money off of now. And NBA, you can watch your local teams overall pretty well. You have, and they do a good job, the NBA, with TNT, ESPN, and all that. You can get solid games all through the week. Baseball, you get a couple games a week. That's it.
Yeah,
you don't get many. ESPN
out of 160.
Yep.
You're not getting many at all.
Out of X there's X amount in a week. How many games you get to see? Maybe 5 marquee matchups in a week on where NBA I can turn on any night of the week and find an NBA game.
And the worst part is MLB Network. You can only get out of your area games.
Yeah.
So if I'm a Cubs fan and I'm going to spend $130
watch Cubs.
I can't watch my team.
Got to watch it on GN or no.
Oh, I got to buy
CS.
So I got to buy Marquee or
Marquee. Yeah.
And
Comcast. Comcast doesn't even carry them anymore, do they?
No.
Marquee. And I don't even know if I can get it. I mean, I don't have cable or anything. So
Marquee was on.
You might have an app.
Like Eric said, they dumped it. Yeah, they dumped Marquee, so they don't have it on there anymore.
Yeah. So again, you're. I mean, I got MLB Network last year, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to watch out of this area games. And then they pulled the All-Star game out of Atlanta. And I was like, fuck it, I want my money back. And it was like 2 days after I got it, right before that was right at the season start.
Yeah.
And I was like, So I went and called, and they didn't even question. They just gave me my money back right away. And then they moved it to Denver. And then the Braves won the World Series and stuck it in their ass. And Denver had more. I actually got something about that, actually, that's similar.
Yeah.
So
stick it in the app.
No, I just
Where's
thought
this
about.
going?
No, I was just
cancel down.
This is that China story. I'm still going. So 1 year ago, the Coca-Cola company rushed to criticize the voting laws in Georgia. They issued wildly inaccurate statements about the context of the law, tweeted up a storm, and went on television to make their displeasure known. Today, the soft drink giant, whose second biggest market is in Russia, where they have several plants, is eerily silent about Russia. Oh, when it's about us making money, it's a completely different thing. We can have a genocide or something going on, and so there's no tweets. They haven't even condemned the invasion, and their production just keeps going and going every day.
Yep.
But yet we couldn't get a law that said you should show an ID to vote, the most important and sacred rule we have in this country.
Yeah. Well, what's his name? Enes Kanter Freedom in the NBA.
Yeah.
He criticized the Celtics coaches for wearing the Ukraine flag, but they can't speak out about anything else.
Well, he didn't criticize them for wearing the flag. He criticized the hypocrisy.
Correct. Yep.
Because they didn't want to wear the shoes he wore a few months, a month ago. They told him.
But you're right on that.
Yeah.
They're picking and choosing winners again and losers, and they seem to be wrong almost every time.
Mm-hmm.
They choose BLM, which we find out now is some just horrible organization.
And I got this. I think we got it from a friend of ours, and it was funny. All these people that are backing Ukraine now are the same people that want to make this country like the Ukraine. Seriously, that's what they want. They're all cheering for. They're all like, it's a game to these people. Like it's not. Yeah. Sorry, I wear a shirt and it's okay. There's people getting killed over there, and they don't get this. They don't understand this. They don't really see. You've been involved in this stuff, so I just don't understand what people think that it's all about just wearing a pin and it's all solved.
Right.
Instead of saying something like, why is Coca-Cola still producing over there? Why does he actually come out and say, I don't care. Put the pipeline, let's start doing our own stuff again over here, or getting it from some. Now we want to just go to Venezuela.
That's what I was going to talk about. You mentioned
Elon. Yeah.
Elon. So this guy's got an electric car, and he's all for opening up more pipelines, more drilling, everything. Nancy Pelosi and who's the other one that was also for it? It was crazy. The three people it could have been McConnell.
For opening a pipeline?
For doing more gas and everything. It was three people that would never get together ever. Right. They would, if you threw them in a room and threw like a bottle in there, they would kill each other and smash it.
Because Trump's not behind it. That's why.
Well,
they're okay
it doesn't.
with it.
I mean, it still doesn't. I
Yeah, I
mean,
know
these
what
are three
you're saying,
people from different universes.
Yeah.
They're not
I
even in the same solar system.
Mitch McConnell, maybe.
It might have been, but
Well,
it was Nancy
yeah.
Pelosi, Elon Musk, and somebody else, and they were all for the same thing.
Well, Pelosi doesn't care for the squad either.
But-
so then
but-
the squad's all for like Green New Deal and all that stuff. So it's kind of like sticking it to
I
them.
don't.
We don't have a Green New Deal set in place,
we
though.
talk about
Build
sports
back better.
but yeah. But the thing I don't understand is that, and I think I've said this before. So let me get this straight. So we're about a better Earth, but they only think the Earth is the United States, I guess.
Mhm.
We can drill the
And-
crap out
and
of
Europe and Europe.
We can drill the crap out of Russia, Venezuela. We can do whatever we want there, but it doesn't do. It has the same effect on the world as us doing it.
Yep.
Well, if they're doing it anyway, and we have by far a way safer means and regulations behind how we do it than these, we're allowing them to do it with their crappy relations, killing sea otters and whatever, where they're doing it, where we every step of the way we protect against that.
Mhm.
And it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I mean, I don't understand it. Then I just don't understand these people, what they think. Oh, if they don't do it here, then it's safe. What? It's
Yeah,
not.
Yeah,
And then China and India are just dumping shit right in the rivers, you know?
It's in the ocean. It's everywhere.
They're just like pushing it in people's houses or whatever with bulldozers. It
Well,
doesn't
they're
matter.
cashing every check we send them
Yeah.
too. You know, they want to go electric and alternate energy. So they strip mine the shit out of these countries to get to the lithium and all these other precious metals. Again, to your point,
In Africa.
yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
Well, Afghanistan's pretty rich too. That's
Yeah.
why China swoop, came in real quick once we
But
left.
we can't do it here.
Nope.
Can't do it here.
Got to protect that one plant.
Gotta protect.
And everybody, I don't think anybody's like, yeah, let's wreck the planet. I mean,
no,
it makes no sense. It's
I'm gonna tell you
It's
right
just
now, the
unbelievable.
way they get this stuff in the United States, if they would allow them to or would allow us to use it, is way better than it was 50 years ago. It's way safer.
Mhm.
And it's way more conscious of everything. So
Regulated,
yeah.
yeah.
So you may pay a couple more pennies on everything because it's coming from here. I'd rather pay. Let's put it this way: I'd rather pay $4 a gallon and coming from here than coming from somewhere else. Plain and simple.
Yep.
Because their $4 gallon's going to backflow into us somehow eventually, hopefully.
American jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't understand the $4 a gallon. That's what people don't get. It's like no big deal. People say, yeah, it is because it raises everything.
Right.
Deliver this soda, deliver
Yeah.
these jelly beans, this
Mhm.
candy canes, deliver these phones,
Heat your
this,
house.
deliver heat your house, anything. Everything goes up because of once fuel goes up, everything raises. If you don't believe that, you are an idiot.
and it's not going
You
to come
really
back,
are.
and it doesn't come back down.
No.
So when
Nope.
say Trump does get reelected or somebody like that, and gas prices drop down to 180, because I don't know why the president controls gas prices, but for some reason, confidence and other
Mhm.
things. Are the prices of all the materials, the raw materials and stuff you get for work, going to change? They might drop a little bit. They're not going to go back down to what they were when it was 4 years ago.
Well, that's the problem. They don't control like they should. But
Because they had to increase for moving stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I've got surcharges on material at work right now. They're charging I think it's like a 15% surcharge because of you backlog and fuel prices, and it's crazy.
yeah,
And I didn't pick that one 2 years ago when I did that job. That was not included because there was nothing even in the future for that. So now I'm eating that 15%.
yeah, it's just I don't know. Like I said, it's just crazy. And like back to the sport part of it, I mean, we're banning Russia from all this stuff they're supposed to have, which I'm fine with. But we just like I think I said last week, we just got them having Olympics in a country that I don't know. I don't
Oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff on that.
know. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying the Russian ballet theater
Here in Milwaukee.
has no ties to the country of Russia. They had to change its name because they perform Russian technique of ballet. It'd be like saying we do the Frank Lloyd Wright type house. Like, well, he raped somebody. Can't say Frank Lloyd Wright anymore, So that was that one. Russian bred cats are now banned, which I don't understand that. A Russian opera singer was fired from her job in New York City. Did you see that? That was a pretty popular one because she would not denounce Putin. So they asked her,
Because she can't. She'll
She-
get murdered when she gets back.
yeah, exactly right. So they asked her the question. She goes, well, I'm not for any war. I think there should be peace in the world. And they said, that's not good enough. You're fired because you did not denounce Putin as a person. But like you're saying, if he's that a megalomaniac and, vindictive, you really want her to come out against Putin and then go home and get chopped up and thrown in the river? I don't get it. So, and then the RT News, which was, I think, the Russian Times News.
Right.
Did you see that one in New York?
Yep.
They were banned from all the different platforms. They had to fire all their American workers. So they went home with no money and can't feed their kids. Just like that, you're out of work.
Well, yeah, it was government sanctions on Russian
Yeah.
media or something like that. Yeah.
And then a lot of platforms wouldn't play RT News
Right,
anymore.
Right. Like
So that one's
Google
gone.
TV and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm waiting to hear that Russia was removed from Google Maps. That's the one I'm waiting for.
Well,
Like
Woodman's,
just on the map, there's just going to be like a blank space there.
Woodman's announced they're not carrying Russian wine anymore.
There's a Russian wine.
I guess.
The other one, Food Network, is going to remove all the borscht and kasha recipes. I just made that one up. So just to recap, China released a lab-made bioweapon that killed millions, and we sent our athletes over there to compete. Russia invades Ukraine, and we ban their handicapped athletes from competing in the Special Olympics. You saw that one too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, their soccer team was just. I know where you're going, but yeah.
Yeah. No, they got a. Oh yeah, there's been a couple of them recently now. Yeah. But we're still buying $75 million in oil each day from Russia,
funding the war.
So we're funding both sides of the war right now, which I mean, we're a podcast that's mostly sports and talking about stupid movie characters, but are you fucking kidding me? We have no skin in this game, essentially. We got one side's communist, the other side might be Nazis from all the rumors and just bad guys in general. They're fighting each other, and we're paying the Russians $75 million a day for their oil, and we're giving the weapons to the Ukrainians and backing them. What the hell's going on?
But Ed, we're wearing the pins.
No, not me. And you know what? And even no matter how bad it is, Zelensky and Putin are still better than any Chicago politician.
I don't know about that.
Pretty close.
Yeah. So,
well, sports related. Did you see the owner? Was it the owner of not Chelsea? One of the big soccer teams was brought in to negotiate between the two countries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I heard one of the, I don't know who was that, but I know Chelsea FC. You brought that up. Chelsea FC is going to be sold now because a Russian owns it.
Yeah.
And they're talking Ricketts wants to buy it.
Jeez.
Well, he'll win the first year, and then you won't get shit the rest of. We getting old. He'll have Chris Bryant over there kicking a ball.
Chris Bryant and Rizzo. Put Bryant in goal. He's long. He's tall. That's that.
Did you hear the other soccer story? And I haven't seen the final thing of it in Mexico.
Right. There was a psychotic riot
in Liga, Mexico.
Like
I suppose there was like 22 people killed with chairs, and
they ran on the field and started the fans started just beating up anybody with the other team jersey on. Just started beating.
Is that what it was?
Oh yeah, it was an outright riot.
They said there were people getting clubbed, and then Mexico, whoever the local was, they're like, oh no, there were just some people hurt. And then I saw this morning there was like 17 to 22 bodies or something.
So it was Chelsea's owner.
It was
Chelsea.
That's negotiating with Putin
and they should be negotiating. We shouldn't be fighting wars in this day and age. Everything could be settled at a table. Seriously,
probably like
how
foosball.
What can we not?
Best 2 out of 3.
What can we not settle in this world? You know, we got all these groups that have their hands in everything.
You can't settle psychotic thoughts and behaviors.
That's true. That's one of them,
and that's what they're facing.
And we can't sell weapons to both sides, and if nobody's gotten a war, you know, it's there's a lot of moving parts here. I don't like it. I mean, you've been in the military during wartime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you approve of this war?
Of course not.
Of us going in?
We haven't gone in yet.
No, if we did.
It gets very political.
It's a slippery slope.
If they step foot into Poland, it's a whole different story.
Well, we have a commitment to the UN nations, right? I don't think we need to be sending our young men to fight any war outside of this country when we have our own issues to deal with.
I agree.
We got to, and whatever you feel on it, we're being invaded daily on the southern border.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even talking about, the human rights aspect of it. Those people
Fentanyl.
are exactly, they are trying to seek better life. Probably a small portion of those people. You think about
There are.
that,
I mean, I have some that worked for me over the years, and they came here for a better life.
and
you know,
your work address is what? Well, yeah. I mean, you think about the drugs, and you see it all over the place. Every state that they've been to, there's been murders or rapes or
yeah, it's a political thing now, so people are keeping track of it.
and it's the hypocrisy of everything, right? They don't have to have COVID tests, but we got to have COVID tests to go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
But different podcast.
No, I mean, we're an everything podcast.
I agree 100%. Should have got the vaccine on the way in if they want everybody to get the vaccine.
Yep, and leave your name at the door. I'm not against immigration at all. I mean, all of our grandparents or whatever came over here. Your grandparents, my great grandparents,
My dad.
but they all signed the paper at the beginning and left their name with an ID or whatever, then so we know who they are.
Yep.
You can't just run around. I mean, we're past that point now.
But
there is a risk for Putin to do whatever he wants to do, right? That's not Ukraine is just the first step. He said he didn't want
Hopefully it's the
Ukraine-
only step. I mean, that's we hope.
Yeah. He said he didn't want Ukraine to become part of NATO, and that was part of why he was pushing back. But he takes Ukraine. He's got four NATO nations right on his border now.
Right.
Makes no sense. It's just a ego. It's a Stalinist ego where he just wants to reunite the old USSR.
And that's a Russian thing too.
Right.
That's their culture.
Right. At least the elitist level.
As a Polish guy, I'm not really big fans of Russians usually.
Just AKs.
Yeah,
we
haven't had a good run with them for the last 100 years. So, yeah. And so somebody's like, "You're all back in Putin." I'm like, "Don't go there. Don't go that far. I'm just not for either side."
So take a left turn here. When you were talking about baseball and the changes, it almost feels like they're trying to relive the Sosa McGuire era of high scoring because the excitement that everybody had, and MLB was front page for a lot of for that era. So they're making all these rules to increase the scoring to kind of bring that back. Because they don't have the hitters right now.
After this lockout, they're going to need it.
Yeah.
The problem is too, they're building. We've been talking about this with that shift and everything. They've built all these players just to hit home runs.
Yeah,
that's it. It's a Earl Weaver try and hit 3-run homers as much as you can, but they're mostly solo shots.
All you hear is about his launch angle and swing.
I mean,
exit velocity. Yeah, but you're still not seeing anybody chasing the records like Sosa McGuire did.
And are we are they gonna bring in guys like Wade Boggs and Tony Gwynn type of guys now that there's no shift? No, they're gonna keep those same guys out there that are just hitting the ball as hard as they can. Right. I mean, I'm a purist kind of guy, and I think they pretty much ruined the game. So
I don't know. Maybe if they get rid of the shift, could you see a guy hit 400? Maybe.
Well, we're gonna find out.
I mean, I'm just saying.
How are they stopping the shift?
It's got to be a full season. Obviously, it wouldn't count this year because they're canceling games. They're not making anything up. So if they start, they'll be 140, whatever. There'll be 140 left or 130.
Can a guy do it? Yeah, there's guys with so much talent
with
now.
No shift. I mean,
but that guy's never going to make the major leagues because he's not a guy that's going to hit 400 is never going to hit 40.
But you look at a guy like, and I'm not saying Schwarber is one, but I've watched Schwarber play for years, and he grounded out to the guy playing deep second in front of the right fielder many a time. So if they don't play hard over, which they will have to now, if they don't play, that's a hit.
But they're going to pitch. They're going to pitch them different now because.
Yeah,
you're going to see more pitching out over the plate now and off the outside corner. It's going to go back to Maddox type pitching.
Oh, real baseball,
where they've been jamming guys for years because they can't control.
I'm going to guess they're going to. I'm guessing the rule would be you have to stay left of the. If you're a shortstop, you can't go any further.
Split up the middle.
Yeah, you can stand behind second base as far as you can go. But I mean,
that's still.
I just don't. That's what I like about it. You're making all these extra rules and more work for the umpires who everybody already beats up on anyway. I got to worry about this now.
Yeah.
And then now there's gonna be a challenge involved. After the guy grounds out to the shortstop. Oh, was he playing? Oh, got to replay it. And what do you do if they do get the replay? Oh, he gets the hit again, or does he get a free base because he shouldn't have been there? I don't. This is insane. It's just it's like telling NFL teams you can't play zone defense. You got to play straight man-to-man coverage.
But nobody does. They still play a type of zone almost.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, basketball was that for years. I don't think they couldn't play zone. They just didn't do it because, well, they couldn't because of illegal defense.
Yeah.
They lightened up on it and said, okay, as long as doing so, you can do kind of. But that they don't play a lot of zone in the NBA anyway. They don't do it.
It would be hard to play nowadays because
it's more of a
these guys
shoot.
shoot.
The shooting is what kills you. Yeah. But if you watch this, it's like it's insane. I mean. It's what they want to do. Let them do what they want. If they want to play 87 guys on one side of the field, then let them play it. I mean, you're going to make just more rules to make this harder for everybody else. I mean, for the umps and I don't, I like I said, it is going to make for more hitting. Mm-hmm. I think going to get more runs. I think it's going to be, I bet it goes up 1.5 runs a game, probably total.
More small ball type baseball.
Well, hopefully, I mean, that's you better.
I don't see it happening though, because they're still bringing in all these guys that just, it's all about launch angle and velocity.
And nobody wants to give himself up anymore.
And I mean, these
very
guys,
few.
You like you said, you're going to have guys like, say, a Schwarber type guy that's hitting now. He's going to get an extra 10, 12 hits a year. But over a 600 at bats, that's still he's only still now hitting 270 instead of 255 or something.
Yeah.
What about guys like Tim Anderson, who's 310, 315?
Now those are the guys, or the who's the DJ LeMahieu type guys.
How about a guy like Trout? He's always around 300. I mean,
Trout's tough though, because he's just he's kind of the guy that just hits the ball so hard that it goes through.
But LeMahieu's a good, LeMahieu.
I'm trying to think of there's not many guys that just smack the ball around the field anymore. The Boggs, the Gwynn, those type of guys. Even we don't have a Brett Butler out there. They can bunt the ball and slap it anywhere. Pete Rose.
But do you think the shift made guys worse batters because now they're
for sure
so hard? Now they
don't even care.
Now they're going to get up and just swing freely. They're going to get more hits.
That's why the launch angle came from, because they were trying to get it out of the park.
They were just trying to hit it over the top of the
Now
shift.
they're going to be a little more relaxed.
But you're not going to see. They're still teaching only launch angle.
But that's going to change.
You wanted to hopefully it levels the bat off. It comes through the zone more. There'll be a way less amount of strikeouts. It's going to reduce strikeouts. Crazy because the whole point of the launch angle, it only comes through that zone in a small. It's kind of the Ken Griffey Jr. swing where it's a small.
Uppercut,
You have to be really good to hit it at that point.
Yeah.
And then you get that top spin and the ball takes up.
Teaching pitchers how to pitch around it or pitch against it.
Well, and that's what they're going to do. But we were always taught you want to hit line drives. You want to keep your bat flat through the zone as much as possible to be on the same plane with the ball.
Right.
So, and so it's going to be tough to get guys to change their swings now because these guys are being taught at 9 years old. They're taking batting lessons.
Yeah.
And a guy will hit 400 they got so much more information coming their way. If they change their swing to that flat swing, they would hit 400. I don't think guys are going to change.
I think you're going to see a little bit.
It's going to start.
The smaller guys are going to.
It should be. Yeah. I mean, you see like more of your like Biggio type guys or those Altuve type guys. Those guys could possibly do it. They're small. You've got a small strike zone. At bat, whatever they swing, it's pretty much in the whole strike zone. There's not much room there. I'd love to see it, but I love that kind of baseball.
The last thing I want to talk about real quick before I go, Middleton proved me wrong yesterday. Scored 44 points in a big game. Giannis only had 18, 17 in the first half, and 1 in the second half. Kind of quiet game for him. The big thing for me though, and I'm glad Eric said he rolled his eyes, and then every day I watch the Bucks, I'm just losing more faith. I mean, he allowed 122 to a Devin Booker, Chris Paul less Suns team. And Jay Crowder was open like for 4th straight 3-pointers he hit. And I mean, it was a lot closer than 10-pointer. They were only up like 2 or 3 with like 2 minutes left. So it was a lot closer to that game than it was. They're struggling with these teams, man.
They cannot guard the perimeter.
No, and that's been their problem they got it right last year for a while at least. But even then they were getting, they're I don't know, getting Lopez back would help because Portis is not great on defense. His defense is mediocre, and that hurt him a couple times yesterday. But I just want to say, after yesterday, Milton went from 46 to 45 on my list. So, I just want to make sure everybody knows.
I don't know if anybody saw. I texted over. He's top 20 now.
Yeah, I saw it. That's Bucks and 6.
Bucks and he's still looking at 6. So just want to say it for Jeff if he pops on.
Well, I mean, everybody was saying that was their.
What did I say? We're going to the Blackhawks Knights game
Knights,
in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Noon game on Saturday.
Noon game on Saturday.
You pull off tickets on that?
I got one more guy I got to hear back from, but yeah.
Nice. Good for you. Those I know those tickets are pretty tough to get.
Yeah. StubHub, the second market, but I mean, $150 for,
I heard it
for center ice, upper level.
I heard it's pretty tough to get those.
Check it out. Check out the stadium. Be cool to see.
Yeah, but I figure 3 hours I'm gonna spend less on tickets where I'm gonna sit for 3 hours than I would be in 3 hours in a casino. $150.
It's gonna be nice that weekend. Well, it might be hard. We can even do that. We can sports book it because the tournament's on that weekend too.
Yeah. Calvin Ridley might be there.
Ooh, he might.
You can hang out with him doing the slot.
It's hard.
It's like I gotta gamble, boys.
I bet he don't play slots.
Yeah,
find a high roller room with a couple $1,000.
We could do a whole show on degenerate gamblers, but I was at a high school party the other day. It was just a bunch of guys. They were like in their 20s, young 20s, hanging out, and
it just got worse.
Yeah,
shirtless. And we're watching on TV.
Magic Mike.
The Blackhawks game is on.
Okay,
so this is a couple weeks ago, and I was sitting with Mr. Lesnick and a couple guys, and the kids are talking. Like, oh, I got a parlay going, a 14 parlay with the Blackhawks, Mississippi State basketball. I forget what the other one was. It was like another hockey game, and I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" These guys, and the kid won $600 while I was there, but it's like, dude, you're like 20 years old, and you're betting 14 parlays on like D3 basketball games. It was crazy.
Would you talk about that guy who spent $1.50 on a 23 game parlay and won it?
That's awesome.
Through the football season.
I'm sure it happens
he won
a lot.
he won over $1 million, or no, a couple $100,000.
Yeah, good for him. That's
for $1.50.
That's awesome. I mean, can you imagine when he started getting to like number 20? He's like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose it now.
Yeah, I would just take.
My God, $1.50.
Yeah, right.
No, but I mean, just to get that close, you jump off a bridge.
Yeah. Like a scene in
you got to win
the
at that
final
point.
scene of Vegas Vacation with Sid Caesar. Winks at him at the end. Great movie.
We should watch that before we go.
Yeah, big.
But it's just there is a problem with young, especially athletes. They gamble so much on, and it goes out. I can see. Okay, you're betting some bucks on the Super Bowl or something. It's every single game now they're betting.
The damn internet.
Yeah, it makes it so easy.
Mm-hmm. That's what you said.
And then they have somehow they get some IESP or some VPN thing so they can bet because they think they're in Illinois, but they're actually in Wisconsin.
Yeah, because you can't bet here, but you can bet.
You will be able to.
You can drive across the border and do it.
But it is on the table though. The governor
it is
looking at it.
And it's gonna it's gonna happen eventually.
As long as Walker or Trump don't back it, he'll be okay with it.
Yeah, I remember that. We were gonna. I said that would have been the best thing for that old dog track. Why don't we just do off sports gambling there and have concerts?
That's what they wanted to do.
Yeah, but they wanted to do fucking slot machines. That's what their big thing was.
It was gonna be a full Hard Rock.
Right. I mean,
Hard Rock would have been awesome to have there. Oh God.
Yeah,
concerts and decent food and somewhere to go. Even if you went out there just on Saturday, get some food.
I got to drive all the way to Milwaukee.
$20 on a slot and come. Oh yeah, exactly.
On Thursday to go see a concert.
Who you see him?
I'll think of this guy's name.
Who you going with?
Amber.
Oh,
some guy she likes. I can't think of his name. I'll have to look it up.
Well, we know it's
because if she listens, she's going to be
mad. She doesn't like that guy.
Matt Kearney.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's like, well, I don't know.
Where is it at?
Turner.
Oh, nice.
We got seats too. I didn't want to stand. She goes, "You want to stand? It's only like $12." I was like, "How much is to get a seat?" Like
14, $12.50.
It was something like, I'm like, we're getting seats. I'm old.
$13.50. I put $1.50. I put $1.50 on a parlay. Can't afford it.
That's how that baby hits. We're standing.
So true.
That's I think that's a wrap.
Longest show of the year.
What do you got for closing thoughts? At anything?
I got one. This is part. You'll like this one. The other day, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Did you see him? He was bragging, or she was this week, about having a.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Mayor Lori Lightfoot, this is on a Zoom call amongst many other politicians. bragged about having a bigger dick than Italians. And she cut ties with Chicago's. That's great. Yeah, so it was all about the Christopher Columbus statue because she said, I'm trying to save cops' lives, and you guys want to put a Christopher Columbus statue up for because they tore them all down.
Yeah.
And she says, you're going to get cops killed, And they said, well, this is what the people want. And she's like, I got a bigger dick than those Italians, you tell them. And people are like, what?
She really said that?
Yeah. On a Zoom call. It's recorded. So it's crazy. So anyways, she also decided to cut ties with Chicago's sister city, Moscow, Russia, after seeing videos of guys with AK-47 shooting at people in the streets. She was horrified. But then she found out that it was ABC7, and then they switched from the local news to the actual war coverage. Sorry. Yeah. But all the other stuff's true. I like it.
Glenn, any closing thoughts?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this as a sports show.
Yeah.
We're a flex show.
Yeah.
Hybrid.
It's slow. It's a slow sports week.
Yeah.
There was one more thing I did have.
Okay, go ahead.
Marquette University changed their official seal. Did you see that? This is true.
To an otter?
It was created in 1881, but they changed it due to the fact that it portrayed Father Pierre Marquette and a Native American guide in a canoe. That was the offensive part because there's like different scenes on this. It says like 1881. It's got a bunch of Latin shit or whatever Catholic stuff on there. And then it's got a canoe with a Native American in. That was the offensive part. Apparently that's racist or misogynistic in this day and age or represents rape culture. I have no idea. It just makes no sense because they didn't like. So now there's nobody on it. They just took the people off. But it was Father Pierre, pointing, and it's a classic like 1880 picture. But I just don't get it anymore. These people see all this racism and stuff in anything. I took a picture of my dogs the other day. I got 3 dogs. And I look at them, it's like, oh, that's a cute picture. I got 1 white dog, 1 red dog, and 1 dark brown dog. College people would look at that and go, well, look at that. The dark dog's in the background, and look at the skinny red one. She's probably skinny because he forces her to eat rabbit poop. She eats it on her own. I'm telling you, she eats that shit on her own.
So does my dog. Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, look at the white one. She's got a brand new collar and it's expensive, of course, what's she?
No, she threw that one. She's too dumb. Had no choice.
It's like, are you freaking, they see racism in every little thing. I just can't see it in that. A picture of Father Pierre Marquette with his Native American guide, which was a true story.
Well, I'm surprised it lasted this long. Why didn't it come down when they changed from the Warriors?
I met Mark Chapman, the actual warrior, in high school. Mr. Jimenez brought him in. Did you ever have Mr. Jimenez?
No, but I knew who he was, obviously.
Yeah, he was friends with him because Mr. Jimenez played college basketball at Wichita, Creighton.
Oh, okay.
With Paul Silas, and they're good friends.
His fingers will tell you.
Yeah, his fingers are mangled.
They're terrible.
Yeah, that was crazy looking. But so he brought the Marquette Warrior there, and I mean, he was a Native American guy. He was happier than shit. He wasn't like, oh man, they make me put this thing on at gunpoint.
Yeah, gotta go scalp another white guy for the crowds.
Yeah,
best part of the job.
We actually had to ask him questions. We wrote them down on a piece of paper and had to put them in a hat, and he was going to pull them out. And I was being a dick, so I put in there how many Native Americans does it take to change a light bulb? So he actually, I shit you not, the first question he pulls out is that. And he's like, who wrote this? And I was like, I didn't want to, I can't lie. I did write it. And he goes, well, what's the answer? And I was like, I just wrote it just to be funny. And I was like, 5. 1 to hold the light bulb and 4 to turn the horse. He thought that was awesome because I just made it up on the spot.
Yeah, I think it's spin the canoe.
That would have been great too. This was just like, I just random. I just come up with it right there because I was just trying to be a dick. But that guy liked me.
You started it all.
Yeah,
it's all Ed's fault.
Yeah, that's the sense that Marquette lost the Warrior, lost the Father Pierre Marquette.
Now we have the where are they? The Manders. That's Thursday.
No,
Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What's
Wash-
Carthage now?
Washington
The
is the-
Firebirds?
The Firebirds, yeah.
Why don't they just I don't-
Ember the Firebird.
It should have been the IROC. The one time counting horns driving around. Driving in.
Yeah, and then have little Super Mario as the
And they
the
all pull in
logo.
and go, "Where's Lori Lightfoot? We're gonna kick her ass."
We're gonna compare dick. No, I get. I mean, we're saying the same things over and over again, but would you be that offended if somebody did something like that? I thought if it was like the Pollock, and then the guy was facing the wrong direction, or something, I'd be like, that's pretty good. So,
Looking down between his legs.
the ball's like behind him in the picture, and I don't know, some crazy logo. I don't know. It wouldn't bother me. Me scratching my head, looking at like a math question, like 3 + 8.
Painting himself instead of the wall.
Looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh,
gee. Yeah, I don't know.
Great. We just lost our one Polish listener. Awesome.
Stash, come back.
So that's all closing thoughts. Glenn, you didn't have any, right? You got anything?
That was his.
Oh, that was it.
Good, let's not go back to him.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
So thanks guys for stopping tonight. Ed, Glenn, thank you. I think Willie and Eric will be back. Who knows?
We don't even need them. We just put up like 3.5 hours.
This is one of our best.
Yeah.
101 is the one to listen to.
we told Eric we were really going to record
this was
100
it
tonight. Yeah.
We might want to lock the garage door next week.
Next week starts one of the best I think weeks in sports is the first couple rounds of NCAA tournament. March Madness, as they call it. So that'll be fun to talk about next week. Also, hopefully baseball is moving on. We'll find out who franchise tagged out last week. Check us out, our 100 show last week. Check us out on all the podcasts, where you find your podcast. Basement Benchmark, download them, listen to some old episodes, and we got a lot of them. We got 101, as we just said. There's a bunch out there. So
don't watch them on YouTube. I guess the comments are horrible. No, comments are turned off.
So once again, we are the Basement Benchmark podcast for Glenn and Ed. We will see you next week for a good old 102. Have a good night, everybody.
I hate goodbyes.
Sorry, folks, park's closed.
What happened? I blacked out.
Because we did something today that no one thought we could do, including us. So we're going out, we're celebrating, and we're going to rub it in this city's face.
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome.
Bye, Felicia. Kids, there's Big Ben and there's Parliament.
I'd give them more buys and highs.
Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. It feels so good. It feels so good. It feels so good. It feels so good.